So last week we started the show, sadly, having to hype up the Knicks because Donovan's in here. Something good happened to him as a Knicks fan. We had to let him talk about it, go crazy for like 20 minutes. And I regret to inform y'all that today's going to be even worse because we have two Knicks fans in the building. We got Pierre here from Numbers on the Board, Chicago's finest. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to be here. Finally, it's long overdue. I got like a DM or mention for so many weeks now of at least one person saying, when are we making this collab happen? So hopefully we satisfy the people. I'm happy to be here, though, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course, man. I appreciate you coming through. Yeah, we get these comments all the time, especially because Kenny comes on every now and then. It's always like, when are we getting the full show crossover?
Yep.
And seven people's a lot, but we can do one by one.
It is a lot. And D Mills and Mike talk now.
They talk. A lot's changed from back when I was producing on the show.
Yeah, a lot has changed, man. I'll be looking to my left and my right like, dang, can I say a word?
Oh man, this shit from Blockbuster TV.
I remember when I first started working for House of Highlights, like 2021. When I first came on, D Mills was a whole different person.
Whole different person, man. Whole different person
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Shout out D Mills.
Shout out D Mills, man. It's his birthday today.
Mills, man.
It's his birthday today.
Oh,
Happy
let's
birthday,
go.
Mills. If y'all are still here, comment Happy Birthday, Mills. If you haven't clicked away after 2
Happy
minutes.
D Mills Day, everybody. What a day.
Yeah, man. As y'all see by the title, we're going to go through every single NBA free agency move. And you know that we are certified liars, so it's not really going to be every single one. Title just says that. But it's going to be most of the ones that we care about, that are worth talking about. All the big trades, all the, I would say big signings. There's like 2 big signings. All the medium signings. We're going to grade them for each team. It'll be great.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice.
Do you want to start with the Knicks?
Please.
Of course.
All
They're
right.
itching for it. God.
Okay, the first thing let's grade.
Phoenix.
Mikal Bridges trade to the Knicks. One of you Knicks fans, take it away.
Donovan, it's all you.
Listen, I'm grading this as, we're giving this an 89, right? So I'm gonna give it a as high of a B plus as possible, just because
Wow.
5 first round picks is a lot. It is a lot. And you look around the league and like you look at what other people are giving up for certain players. Like Rudy Gobert ends up going for 5 first round picks, and we look back at that trade and we're like, yo, you guys really overpaid, and that's for somebody who is multiple time DPOY. I think Mikal Bridges is going to fit in perfectly. I think the Knicks are going to go to another level. If you look at it as a package deal between Mikal and OG, it's perfect. But just 5 first round picks, I'm still trying to stomach that a little bit, but it's an amazing deal for the Knicks.
That's an interesting grade. I thought it was going to be a little higher, but I like it because as Knicks fans, we have to be a little bit, realistic. But me, I'm going to take this opportunity to give us a 97. The reason I'm giving us a 97 is because of what you just said. We take Mikal, we pair him with OG.
Yeah.
Not only do we take Mikal and put him in that situation, all of these Villanova guys, I don't know. I hate to use this, but all of these Villanova guys come together and thrive. So maybe we'll see him reach another level. And the only reason it's not 100% is because we did give up the 5 first round picks, but we didn't really do much with our picks to begin with. All of these guys that are on our team that we love,
That's fair.
They're not, Brunson was acquired, DiVincenzo acquired, Hart. We drafted, our best drafting picks are guys later, like Emmanuel Quickley, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes. When we are in the front of the draft, we have Frank Ntilikina. Who else? RJ Barrett. Kevin Knox is the one. Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox are the ones that make me say we don't need first round picks anyway. So that's my argument for us giving up the first round picks. Shout out to RJ Barrett though.
Yeah, I think I feel similar to this that I do to the Hartenstein contract for the Thunder, which we'll get to later. It's for sure an overpay, but when you're in a position where you got the extra assets and you're in win now, it's a very understandable overpay. And I'm gonna go A. I think, people like to say, like, you got the first role player super team as if it's some kind of, like, pejorative, like it makes it not impressive. I think having one superstar and then a super team of role players is pretty dope. I think it's a pretty good winning formula. And especially when you have Bridges who can lock back in defensively, pair that with OG, I think that tandem, what you can have for that wing duo, is just as impactful with having a star that doesn't necessarily complement as much as those two do.
I mean, a role player super team just won the championship, so we can, we can run it. We can run it back.
That's true. Wow.
Right. Don, Mo, what are you grading for the other team?
Me personally, I would go ahead and give them. What'd you say?
What are you grading for the Nets?
For the Nets. First and foremost, the Knicks. I agree with you guys. A overall. But for the Brooklyn Nets, also, I'm gonna give them an A because they've been needed to get off of Mikal Bridges. With this specific trade alone, this gave them glimpses of a future. And then they went ahead and made other moves that I guess we can talk about later. But for this move specifically, you win because Mikal Bridges as your first option gets you nowhere but to the front of the lottery. And for them, at this point in time, they didn't have their picks. Now it's a slightly different conversation, but regardless of the fact, it's an A.
Yeah, this is like the most win-win trade imaginable. Like, this is A+ for both of them, I think. Like, the Nets, we talked about it a little bit last week, were such a laughingstock and went to being like so sharp overnight. Like, he went from being the team that everyone's like, hey, are they dumb? Do they not want to do anything like, reasonably well in the next 5 years? They just want to be mid forever. And now you're like, oh, wait, they have like one of the brightest rebuilds ahead of them you could possibly imagine with their own picks back and all these extra picks. It's getting that kind of value from Mikal Bridges is insane.
It really is. I was tough on the Nets for a long time because I just felt like, why are you keeping him? And for them to keep him as long as they did and still get 5 picks. I didn't think they would get 5 picks back then. I thought the most they would get was like 4, including like a swap or something. So to get 5, for me as a Knick fan, never in a million years that I think the Nets would give us Mikal Bridges. Yeah. Never.
That must hurt them so much, seeing the fucking Villanova kids go party together on the other side of the city. That must hurt. But if you can get your own pick back. And listen, we laughed at the Nets for reports of them wanting 3 first-round picks for Bridges. We were like, who the fuck do you think this guy is? This is not Kevin Durant. And then they got more than Kevin Durant got traded for. It's crazy.
Yeah, I for sure thought this was going to be like a Masai Ujiri type thing where Masai's like, listen, I'm going to need 10 first-round picks and your firstborn son. And it's just going to be for Jakob Poeltl. Like, I thought that they were asking for too much. And like y'all said, it's crazy that actually happened. But I mean, listen, I think like for them to flip the switch as quickly as they did, they could be in a situation where they're like the Suns or they're like the Clippers and you don't have any of your picks for the rest of the decade. And now you're just out here. And we all, remember Josiah talking about, I just want to go back to that, to that 42 and 40 team where it was fun and people cared. Like if you had Mikal Bridges as your leading guy, that's what you were going to be, best case scenario. So it's amazing that it worked out this way.
Don't y'all feel good that you don't got to, like the era you're in now, going forward as a Knicks fan, that you don't got to pretend RJ Barrett's the guy anymore, that you're in like a place of prosperity and that you don't got to gaslight yourself anymore?
Yeah, I was never one of those Knicks fans, though. I really wasn't. I always thought RJ Barrett.
I remember some conversations. I think at some point.
He's saying he has footage of you, Pierre.
What was I saying? I don't remember.
I remember one conversation we had. It was early on in Tyrese Maxey's career. We had a debate who would rather have RJ Barrett or Maxey. I remember we were arguing about it in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay, that definitely happened because we had a conversation about Maxey. I didn't know it was RJ Barrett, but I remember that conversation. Damn. Yeah. Tough.
Long time. It's been so long since then.
A lot of Knick fans didn't like me like in the Twitter community because I was a person, then this is going to sound crazy. I was a person that used to say, I wish we had took Cam Reddish instead of RJ Barrett.
Ooh.
Now, with hindsight, that sounds crazy, but both of them coming out of college, if you were familiar with them in the early pre-NBA days, I just thought that Cam Reddish would have been a much better player and a pro in a different situation. The start of his career and now what we see, obviously that sounds stupid, but I was never the biggest RJ Barrett fan. I did try to convince myself on multiple occasions that he was a little better than what he was, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're bearing the lead here. Let's talk about it. Do you guys view the Knicks as having a real chance to come out of the East?
100%.
They should. Absolutely.
100%. I do think that Boston should still be the favorite. Like they've earned that right to be the favorite to come out of the East. Between us and Philly, it's a dead tie. I will put us ahead of Philly just because, their 2 stars are unreliable in every way possible, whether it's injuries. Listen. You're right. I'm not. Let me not.
He's
disrespect
not calling
Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey unreliable.
Exactly.
He's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna disrespect Maxey. But Joel Embiid is never healthy, and Paul George is never healthy, and he bricks shots off the side of the backboard. And B doesn't want to take wide open jumpers in the fourth quarter. That's whatever. I trust what New York can do in a playoff situation, and you just added 10 points to the chemistry attributes. So yes, they should be the favorites. At least over the Sixers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I like our chances. This center position is going to be interesting, even though I have full confidence that Thibodeau and company will figure it out. Every center he's had, he's found a way to increase their value while he's been with the Knicks. But the Celtics, I still respect and fear the Celtics, man. I think that they are a problem. I think we cannot fall into thinking everything that they're doing is like infused with the basketball play. They do some corny stuff. They're not the most likable team. I get it. But when they play, they are better than everybody else in the NBA. And I'm still feeling that way. But I do think, like Donovan said, if there was any other team out of the East that I think could represent the Eastern Conference, it would be us. Philly got to show me something, man. Philly got to show me something. I respect them. But like Donovan said, Embiid is not always available. And that is always going to be a big question mark for them.
Yeah,
Me personally, I wouldn't even worry about. Real quick, me personally, I wouldn't even worry about the whole center thing because Tibbs' contact is deep as hell. He gonna go ahead and hit up the old yeller Taj Gibson. He's always there, always.
I was just about to say,
always there
at all times, bro. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let's transition to talking about the Philly trade then, since we got to kind of compare the two. Mo, how do you grade this for the Sixers? Because you're the biggest PG fan amongst us pretty easily. Actually, no, I forgot. Pierre's also a PG fan.
I don't know.
So y'all gonna have to duke it out for your PG stand-em, but you both love them. So how do you feel?
I'm not gonna lie, that pose was absolutely insanity. But me personally, I love this for Paul George because I sit down here thinking to myself, who has been the best center that Paul George has ever played with in his entire career? Oh my damn! Is it Roy Hibbert?
Verticality.
Is it like 2018 Steven Adams or something like that? Absolutely disgusting. I love it. And I think he's, for the Philadelphia 76ers standpoint, you go ahead and you have to absolutely do this move because the window for Joel Embiid is so small, incredibly small.
Tiny.
When you have someone so big and talented and all that, and you don't worry about the Paul George contract when he's 37, 38 years old because your biggest emphasis is within these next 2-3 years. That's the window, and you have to strike right now. So I love it. I would give it an A.
Real quick, Taurean Prince just signed with the Bucks. That's interesting. Low key, kind of a good signing.
Nice. That's a great team.
Yeah, I like that. I like that for them. Another loss for the Lakers.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them later. Those motherfuckers. We'll get to them later. But yeah,
as far as
PG.
Yeah, as far as the 76ers, man, this is a great fit for both sides. I think for Paul George at this point of his career, as a PG fan, it's probably best for him to be a third option. You know what I mean? Light low for him. He could play off of these two dynamic players. I really love the duo of Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. And if you take out Tobias and put Paul George there, I think that's a significant upgrade. So I like everything that they're doing. You get Eric Gordon. He's back with Daryl Morey. Andre Drummond is now the backup center again. You bring back Oubre. Philadelphia is doing some good things. I love the way Nick Nurse coaches too. So I think this was very, very good. And like Mo said, the most important thing is trying to take advantage of that small window of an opportunity you have with Embiid. That means more than anything.
Yeah, I'll grade it an A. I think, everyone was pretty harsh on the 76ers for not making a deal with the deadline and not maximizing a ridiculous Embiid season. It got a little bit easier whenever he got hurt. So people are like, okay, they can punt the season a little bit. But, their whole plan was keep flexibility. And they had a feeling that this summer when they can free up this cap space, they could get somebody. So the plan worked. This is like the best guy you could have possibly got. If they didn't get him, they would have looked real silly waiting to get Buddy Hield or back or whoever it would have been. So got to be an A just because the plan worked.
Yo, does Daryl Morey know more than 5 bench players in the league? Why is Eric Gordon on the Sixers again? It doesn't make every single year he's gonna call up somebody that was on the 2017-2018 Rockets.
Yep.
And he's
last year was Daniel House.
Exactly. Do you want a job? Do you want a job? Exactly. It's crazy.
I think what's even more impressive about this thing too, like you said, Isaac, go back to it. They still have assets from the James Harden trade They have, I think, a 2028 Clippers pick that's unprotected, which is now with how things have unfolded for the Clippers, very interesting. And they have the ability to pivot even more if they need to reassure their bench depth or whatever it might be and make an extra trade for whoever it might be.
Yeah. So do y'all, knowing this trio is together, obviously it doesn't got to be explained. They fit like a glove. PG fits with essentially anybody. How much faith do y'all have that they have a real chance to, like, you know, make a run and challenge the Celtics? Like, are y'all worried about the injury stuff and just general lack of reliability to these guys?
Yeah, I think I'm probably at like 65% confidence that they can make a deep run, and even that might be a little bit high, just because for everything that we said, we have been waiting years on years for Embiid to put together. Forget 4 straight playoff runs. Can you put together 3? Can you put together 2? Can you get to the conference finals? And we haven't seen that. And then for Paul George, the last, like the 2021 playoff run where Kawhi got hurt, he got the Clippers to the conference finals. Shout out to him for that. Outside of that specific moment, the last couple PG playoff runs, they haven't felt great. Right. They haven't been amazing. And so I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at your 2 guys. And unless Maxey is going to be the guy that's like closing, which I would be, if Maxey ends up being the closer on this team, by all means, go ahead. Because I know that he's not scared of any of these moments. And I know that, like, to me in that role, he doesn't really have anything else to prove. The other 2 are the ones where I'm like, you guys still have a level to jump to if you are going to like fully maximize, you know, your potential. And so I'm not sure about that.
What does this do for Podcast P's legacy? Are they still going to record the show? The studio's in LA. Are we going to lose one of the best player podcasts out? Questions need to be answered.
No, we don't lose it. We don't lose it. They going to move, watch. I promise you. They're going to do it virtually. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. But they're not ending that podcast. He just did it. Who was that magazine with when he was on the cover of it? Was that with the boardroom with Kevin Durant's company? That means that he is fully invested into his podcast career. So we ain't seen the last of that podcast at all.
He'd rather lose a leg than lose that podcast, basically.
that's a retirement plan right there. That's a 401k.
For real.
All right, let's move on to the other biggest name that moved in this free agency cycle. Pierre, what are you grading Klay Thompson to the Dallas Mavericks?
This is probably like an 83, 84, maybe even an 85. The reason I love this so much is just because I think Nico Harrison and the Mavericks are continue to find ways to get better with very small windows to do it. And when you have a talent like Luka Doncic, that's all you can really pretty much ask for. They did really good at the draft last year, trading to get Derek Lively. They go into the year, or in last offseason, they double down on trading for Kyrie. In hindsight, that trade looks crazy. Then at the deadline, they go out and get PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. They take the bet on Derrick Jones Jr. They've done everything that you can ask and really extracted as much talent as possible. And then they go into the free agency market without a whole bunch of cap space and find a way to add Klay. Obviously, perimeter defense is lost, but it's only so much you can do. If you exchange Tim Hardaway Jr., Derrick Jones Jr., and Josh Green and replace it with Klay, Quentin Grimes, and Najee Marshall, I kind of like it. So I'm going to give them an 84. Do I think they win in a championship next year? No. But I think they continue to find ways to get better, and that's all Luka can ask for.
Yeah, I was going to say B-, so about the same area.
Wow. B-, why? Same reasons?
The defense. I think you have to start them just based on politics, at least at first. Maybe that'll change, but I find it hard to believe they can field a good defense with Kyrie, Luka, and Klay as a front three. Is Kyrie going to be guarding the best point guards on every night? I guess he can, but do you want him to? Not exactly a winning formula, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm about the same level. Like, I'm giving this an 80 for the defense, and also for Klay. Klay is 2 years removed from back-to-back, like, serious lower leg injuries, the ACL, the Achilles. And we saw it last year, even though that he played better in like the second half of the year, the first half, and even throughout, parts throughout the entire season, he's very inconsistent at this point. And you see that with older shooters, once their consistency starts to go, you can kind of see them on the decline at a very steady rate. And I'm not sure what another offseason is going to be like for Klay, what another year in the NBA is. And is he going to try and come out and be the old Klay Thompson, not even on the offensive end? Is he going to try and prove to people that he can still do it on the defensive end? And so now is he going to tire himself out doing it? Like how
let him.
Exactly. But how, I don't know if he's capable of that. I don't know. Even if Klay Thompson is, pulling up his shorts and smacking the floor and he's like, oh, I'm locked in. Like, I don't know if Klay Thompson can go out and get stops 8 times out of 10. So
let him try.
So I'm not 100% sure about that.
Mo, you asked, you were surprised I said B-. Do you grade it a lot higher?
This specific signing, I think I would be around the same range. Now, looking at their offseason as a whole, I'll probably go a little higher because, Najee Marshall's a good player and all that other stuff. But people didn't come here and click on this podcast and watch me talk about Najee Marshall. Nasty work, all right? Overall, I would say, yeah, it's a great signing. Najee Marshall's underrated, bro. Talk about the defense, 3-point shooting. It's hit or miss over there, but he's see, I'm doing the thing again. Anyways, Klay Thompson. Solid B. I would say B+ because he's genuinely a threat, and he was able to do a lot of things that the Derrick Jones Jr. of the world and Josh Greens of the world, and I guess you could say PJ Tuckers or PJ Washingtons of the world too, throughout the entirety of the playoffs except for one series.
I saw a comment.
Make threes. Mm-hmm.
I saw a comment in the last episode that said take a shot every time Mo says of the world.
Yeah.
You got a catchphrase.
At the bottom of the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you're right for sure. I
hilarious.
think their off-season grades really well. Like, you're going to lose Derrick Jones. You replace him with the guy that's just as good, if not better, at certain things. And then you replace Tim Hardaway, who was absolutely irrelevant and wanted to be traded, with Klay Thompson. Even if you can be as low on Klay Thompson as you possibly want, you're still going to think he's better than Tim Hardaway. You're still going to think he defends better, is more consistent, all that. But I like this the most for Klay himself. He talks about, well, after we're done with this part, we'll talk about the Lakers a little bit and whether you guys want to see him go there. But he talked about wanting to go to a team that has less of a spotlight. That was reported today. Dallas Mavericks don't get the media coverage the Warriors did. He can try to get back in his thing without having so much of a microscope on him. And I feel like the biggest issue of why he looked so washed in Golden State was they play a system that he played in a certain way for so long. He runs off the screens, he creates, he shoots mid-range shots, does all the stuff that he needs drawing to on the ball. You can't really ask him to play differently after a decade. It's hard to accept a smaller role when you've been doing this same thing in this one system forever. Listen, if there's any team out there that he can go and stand there with his hands up and wait to shoot an open jump shot and do what he does best at this point of his career, it is the Dallas Mavericks. He will look so much better standing there, watching Luka go between the legs, just waiting in the corner. That is exactly what he needs to do at this point of his career. Just focus on the jump shooting, not so much the creation off screens. He's gonna age really gracefully here, better than he would with the Warriors.
You just said something interesting. I think what you just said should give us even more reason to appreciate and respect the San Antonio Spurs. Outside of them, I don't know anybody who has aged in a system as well as those core guys did with the San Antonio Spurs. I in NBA history, I'm trying to obviously I'm going off the top of my mind, but I really don't know anybody who was in a system and was able to age as gracefully as they were. They competed to the end. They gave themselves chances. They ushered in Kawhi. It is very hard to do. And yeah, that is a great point in Klay leaving. I didn't know he said that. So shout out to Klay. I'm happy for him. I want to see him get with a chip on his shoulder. I love that the options he was looking at were situations where the Warriors were going to kind of have to see him one way or another. Because if I was him, I would have felt disrespected. And I also would have been like, let me see y'all replace what I do. Let me see Moses Moody do what I do. Let me see Andrew Wiggins do what I do. Since I'm so non of a priority, let's see it.
You will not see that.
And yeah, we will not see it. And so
God forbid he tries.
Hopefully he get the last laugh, man. I really do. Because I don't get not paying him what he wanted, but paying Draymond. I understand Draymond as a player and I like him, but I feel like the Warriors wouldn't be in the situation they're in a lot of different ways if it wasn't for Draymond doing a lot of non-basketball things.
What's so interesting about that whole dialogue too is there was a point in time it leaked, I believe like a day ago or 2 days ago, Klay was like, he was telling stuff like, don't use any of your influence, don't make any demands. They either want me or they don't. They're either going to choose me or they're going to lose me. Point blank period. And they lost.
I respect it. I feel it. You don't want somebody to have to go to bat for you, like for an organization that you was going crazy for.
Klay seems to be the most principled guy of all time. Everything that we're hearing this reporting is just him being like you said, disrespected and just like wearing that shit on his shoulder. Like he seems to be so about it. If he feels disrespected, he's like, fuck that shit. They're saying there's reports that him and Draymond were both mad when Wiggins and Poole got extended. I guess I would be too. Like it's so much is understandable, and like everything that we projected onto Klay for years. A lot of times when people do that with players, it doesn't end up being true. Like the Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown thing, everyone assumed there'd be friction. Who's gonna be 1A? All this bullshit. It's usually nothing. Everything we thought about Klay Thompson was true, I think.
Checks out, yeah. And he went to Dallas. One of the other reasons was the taxes. He's a very principled guy. He's like, hey,
Back chaser.
I like Klay.
I like him a lot too. Did y'all want to see him go to the Lakers? How do y'all feel about the Lakers missing out on him? Listen, we have no signings about the Lakers to talk about, so this is the only Lakers opportunity we have to speak on them.
I think it's a big deal that the Lakers didn't get him. We said on the stream, like I thought that Klay would have been a better fit in LA just because the defense behind him, right? Having AD behind him, like you could probably create a better 5-man lineup where you don't have such like obvious weaknesses. But so like for LA, like you don't really have those shooters. Like you are now relying on Dalton Connect, a rookie, to come in and be JJ Redick, right? You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of Connect. You're asking a lot of Austin Reeves. You are praying that Rui turns into the Rui that he was for 3 weeks 2 years ago in the playoffs. And so to get a bona fide shooter in Klay, even though that he's inconsistent, it would be something that they haven't had in a long time. And it's kind of a big deal because they have one more year of us like legitimately thinking that LeBron and AD could put together some type of magical run. Like they need another piece. And so now you kind of looking around, it's a lot of stepping up that has to be done.
You're giving them one more year?
I mean, maybe like, maybe.
I feel pretty pessimistic as a Lakers fan right now. I don't know if I'm giving them one more year. I think I'm pretty much over it. If they decided to blow this shit up and rebuild today, I would not be upset about it. And over the past few years, I've never thought that. I'm pretty over it.
I love to hear that, Isaac. That is refreshing to hear. Not a lot of Laker fans are walking around with that mentality. And that is I love when fans are not caught up in the bullshit that the organization tries to sell. And that's why I'm torn with the Klay thing. Like a lot of it I kind of liked because, the purple and gold is intriguing. I'm not a Laker fan, but it's like you can't deny that the purple and gold is what it is. His dad played there. It'd have been a nice story. But then it's also like that Ray Allen thing where you leave the Celtics and you go join up with Bron and the Heat. I don't know if I like that as a competitor. And then also when you guys just discuss all of the extra stuff about him saying the attention, if he was not trying to go to a market where the attention was going to be high, gotta stay far away from LA. That is a circus right now. JJ Redick is your head coach. You just drafted Bronny. Whenever you do something wrong, it will not be LeBron or AD fault. It will be on you or somebody else. That's just not a healthy position to be in for somebody like Klay that's trying to get back on track. So I'm torn. I wanted to see him with the Lakers, but at the same time, adding in all of that extra stuff, I kind of like him. I like him with Dallas. I also wouldn't have minded him in Philadelphia either.
Man, Lakers fans are in such hysterics right now because Rob Pelinka's been sitting on his hands, going Darvin Ham mode, hands in his pockets. And I get it, The biggest problem is Rob Pelinka has come out and said that they're being aggressive. They're going to make these moves. Rich Paul has came out and said LeBron will take a pay cut if you can get a guy. Like they've been very outright about their goal of making moves. So it stings that they haven't. And all these fans are watching the other Western Conference teams go berserk and just build ridiculous teams like OKC and whatnot. So they're like, what about us? That bothers me too. And I do think the fact that Rob Pelinka had the opportunity for LeBron to take a pay cut and add that mid-level exception and sign somebody for zero assets, just add that outright with the only cost being LeBron's pockets. The fact that he couldn't take advantage of that is horrible. And I think a huge indictment on Rob Pelinka and his process in his front office and how they're just horrible at making trades and doing signings. That's indefensible. Yeah. But other than that, man, there's not a lot of shit they can do. They weren't going to become a contender overnight this offseason. Like, I think they were kind of cooked either way, and keeping running it back and just waiting until the deadline to make moves and keep your picks until the right thing comes about. makes more sense than Lakers fans are really giving it credit for.
Can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all think that the Lakers depend too much on the Laker? I don't even know what to call it.
Absolutely. The aura. You call it aura.
Yeah, the aura. You think 100%. They use it too much to sell it?
100%. And they're lucky that like it worked for LeBron, but like, you know, for the last like 10 years, it hasn't really gotten anything. Like there was a time where the Lakers were missing out on meetings with guys. But, you know, LeBron kind of revived it because even when they were trash, LeBron showed the entire league like, no, this franchise means something. These colors mean something. I want to do it for, you know, for the city and for the team. And so it kind of brought them back up. But yeah, they rely. I feel like a lot of major markets do that.
They're worse though. Again, it's so hard to talk about the Jeannie Buss conversation because she gets a lot of hate for being a woman, which is the thing. Like people are gonna hate her more than they should for misogynistic purposes. But she's also a terrible owner. She's also a pretty clearly terrible owner. So it's hard to call a spade there. They hired Rob Pelinka because he's pals with Kobe, and that's what it is, right? He got the opportunity. That's not crazy, right? Leon Rose is also an agent. It happens. He has so much of a leash because of his relationships there that he has paid zero consequences for ineptitude since the Russell Westbrook trade. And it seems to be that there's no hot seat of any sort. He can just do his thing for as long as he wants because he's good with the family. And they move like a small family business because that's what they are, right? Their whole business is the Lakers. They're not billionaires from other things. This is their business, and they move in that way.
Yeah.
And they don't have, I don't think they have a legitimate front office with like multiple people in there, assistant GMs, analytics people, a whole crew of people that are contributing to these decisions. I really think it's Rob Pelinka just like in there with fucking Kurt Rambis. Like, what should we do? And it's Kurt Rambis hour. Kurt Rambis' ass is like the secret GM, and Rob Pelinka is just there, hands in pockets, trying to figure out what do we do, man? And they had the worst process ever. Every time these big names come available, they sit on their hands and wait. And if they miss out on them because they're trying to go all in on these guys, they have no backup plans because they weren't doing the groundwork while they were, talking to Klay. They didn't have other staff members out here talking to DeAnthony Melton, out here talking to Buddy Hield. They go all in on one target and they miss them. And then they're like, well, guys, we tried. Signing free agents is hard. Making trades is hard because they have the worst process ever.
Yeah, not gonna lie, you guys remove the Lakers brand coloring and the history from it. You guys have been quite literally like the Charlotte Hornets over the last 10 years. Like you guys,
you know who they are?
Not had
They're
any
the fucking Hawks.
Home built stars, bro. No, not even that, because we have stars legitimately, and we've sent our guys to all star teams and all that other stuff. Quality stars,
what?
Like Trae Young, Paul Millsap, all star, and all that. But listen. You guys don't have any.
Are we gonna let him say that?
You had the LaMelo Balls, the Brandon Ingrams of the world. None of those guys.
I'm still just in shock of
potential.
what he's trying to say.
Russell
Me too. He threw me off with the Hornets.
Yeah, I'm being honest. You guys have not done anything. That's really
the Hawks are run by the
groundwork.
owner's fucking son that makes the decisions because he's the owner's son. That is the same type of vibes we got here. But at least
you
the
guys
Hawks have a GM
coach
and an
after
assistant
coach
GM.
after coach. Yeah, exactly. Like I can say I have a coach of the year on my team. I can go ahead and say that I had 4 guys in a single year win an all-star team. Go to
Are you
an
trying to have
all-star
a
game.
mid-off right now
yes.
with the Hawks and the Lakers?
That's
No,
what
when it
sounds
comes
like.
to just how we guys are ran, yes, absolutely. We're ran better than you guys. You guys are just still in LA.
Sure,
so you
I
got
guess.
We're going to look back at this Lakers situation decades away and really this is going to be bad, man. They dropped the ball in a lot of different situations. Just
100%.
the impact Kobe had with his death, like that in itself, and I hate to use it in a lucrative way, but you have to understand that a lot of people wanted to represent Kobe. That ushers in a lot of opportunities to get guys, LeBron coming over there. But I think players, agents, and fans are just too smart in today's world. It's not like the 2000s where we don't have information. We can get the analytics the same way you can.
Yep.
We're on Instagram and Twitter. We get the reports. There's some random Redditor now, which is probably somebody's agent, just being anonymous, giving us all of this information. And when you just look at how they've handled it, it's bad. The different coaches over the years, the thirst for a star, the Hollywood lights of hey, Kuzma, Caldwell Pope for Russ. It ain't gonna fit. But it's a name, so let's go do it. And if we can't get Russ, we're going to get DeMar DeRozan. And it's Lord. Man, bro, what are y'all doing?
No, we're going to view this, and it's all going to stem from the Russell Westbrook trade, which,
Yes.
not to keep throwing it on him. It's not Russ's fault that this moronic decision-making group of a front office decided to bring him into the team. He didn't choose it. It wasn't a free agency signing, but we're going to look back at that as being potentially the worst trade of all time when we look at the fact that they could have had a whole era of legitimate Lakers basketball championship pursuits, right?
Yep.
They could have went back-to-back at 2021 if it wasn't for health reasons in the short offseason. They had a real chance. And because of that, just like butterfly effect of them getting hurt and them overreacting to that and just doing, again, poor process and having bad decision-making up top, they did the most destructive moves we've ever seen and fumbled. Like, not to be like they hurt LeBron's legacy, but they legitimately ruined like the back half of his career. It's crazy.
They did. Even finding Austin Reeves, that's supposed to be like something that was like, oh shit, we got something here that we just found. Let's use that. They even found a way to like not capitalize on that. I just don't get what, like, even they can't get shit right when they get it right. They can't win for losing. They just can't get right, man. Any other team, if the Warriors had found an Austin Reeves when the Warriors were cooking, man, the Warriors would have took full advantage of that, man. They would have took full advantage.
Steve Kerr would have never let them find an Austin Reeves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
he
true.
stuck his ass on
Exactly.
the bench.
That's true. Kuminga had to request a trade for minutes, so you're right.
That's
I forgot
crazy,
that happened.
bro.
That's crazy. All right, we can move back on to signings and talk about teams that actually did some shit and not the team that did nothing. How do y'all feel about the Dejounte Murray trade? What are we rating that?
Mo?
Quick one, because we already talked about it.
Mo, you the Hawks fan?
Trade. Damn.
Hey, put a grade to that shit. You
So
were just
in
talking
this
about how well
trade-
run they are.
I said over the last 10 years, don't pick and choose when you want to listen, all right? So for the Atlanta Hawks,
You said a lot of shit. I had to filter out some shit. I heard some shit
did.
about.
yeah, I know you
Fucking
pick
Al
and choose.
Horford.
I understand. But
Why
for
are we
the
talking
Atlanta
about Al
Hawks in
Horford?
this situation, Al Horford is a quality player to talk about. Why wouldn't we want to talk about him? He
Oh
is
my
the
God, keep
blueprint
going.
for a lot of
Dejounte Murray.
things.
Okay. What happened? What happened?
Grading this trade, I would give this a solid like C plus, maybe C minus. Only because I understand, like, us fans, we don't dictate what players' values should be and is or whatever. The market does. The market being all these other NBA teams. So I would give this a C plus, considering we were able to get two picks back, and with how the entire NBA is viewing Dejounte Murray, I think they view him a little bit worse, or a lot worse actually, than he actually is. He's genuinely not that bad. I think he was just terribly miscasted alongside Trae Young, and a whole lot of other things are going terribly wrong within this organization. But with what they were able to recoup, I'll give this like a solid C minus, C plus at best.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. I actually think it's a really good deal for the Hawks. Like, I've seen a lot of people talk about this deal and be like, oh, like, I can't believe like they didn't get BI back. Like, if you put Dejounte Murray next to Brandon Ingram, you're gonna take Brandon Ingram. And so I just don't see a world where you trade Dejounte Murray, get the better player back, get picks involved as well. So I think that for the Hawks, I actually think that they did as well as they possibly could. They broke up a duo that didn't necessarily work. I think that this might be like addition by subtraction. Trae Young might be more comfortable next year, you know, without like another point guard in the building. You got an interesting young player in Dyson Daniels. You got some picks back. Like, it's Dejounte Murray. Like he's good, but he's not going to win anybody a championship. And even now that he's in New Orleans, everybody in New Orleans is like, okay, that's fine, but we still have to trade everybody because not everybody fits. Like, it's not he's not a person that can instantly go into a situation and take them from a tier 3 to a tier 1 championship contender. So for the Hawks, like, good job. You got some assets back. You ended this bad experiment, and now you can move on with your life.
Yeah, listen, it was reported they wanted a young player and 2 draft picks for Dejounte Murray at the deadline. They got precisely that. And it's always hard when you're grading a trade that's like remedying a terrible mistake because you have like the stink of that original decision on it. But, you know, that's the sunk cost at this point. They got out of the situation the best they possibly could, given the fact they had to sell him at his lowest point. So
yeah,
it's not terrible. Pierre, I want to know how you view it for the Pelicans.
I like it for the Pelicans. You know, I think they are a team that's in a weird spot. We have so many teams in the league where it's like they have a lot, but at the same time they don't have enough, and it's a weird thing because they have now DeJounte CJ, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins, Trey Murphy, Brandon Ingram, Zion.
Damn.
And am I forgetting anybody else?
Herb.
Eves, Missy, Herb Jones. I just forgot Herb Jones.
Yeah.
Like, that's 10 people I name. And it's still like, I don't know what they're doing. So I like the trade to kind of sort it out. B.I. has to go. I'm a big B.I. fan, but you got to let Trey Murphy, you got to let his wings spread, man. You really do.
Yep.
I love the fact that they prioritize Herb Jones. I'm a big believer that potentially we can see some of that old Dejounte Murray defensive mindedness into this Pelican defensive culture. And because he isn't going to be the primary guy because you have Herb Jones, maybe his defense goes somewhat back to the Spurs days. But to me, the Pelicans now have to address that center spot. I like Eves Missy, but it's so much to ask out of a rookie center to come in and be super impactful. Anybody not named Derek Lively, but
yeah.
Even CJ, like, what are you doing? CJ had a phenomenal year last year, but CJ is a weird player for me to kind of get a feel for in the Pelicans fold, because it's
he has
like
to be their sixth man. I think he has to either get traded or go to the bench.
Oh wow!
You have to start.
Okay.
You can't bench Herb Jones, obviously, and like
No,
you said, Trey
you
Murphy needs to
cannot.
start. Trey Murphy needs to start. Like, even if you trade Brandon Ingram, you can't start all these guys. So either CJ McCollum is also traded, which I'd probably do that, or he buys him a 6-man role, which I find unlikely. So I think he has to be traded just as much as Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do y'all think we far
agree.
away from a CJ McCollum buying into the 6-man role?
I think
he seems like the type
at
to
this
probably
point
buy
in his
in.
career, I don't know. I genuinely
He's a good
don't know
teammate.
because, I mean, you're right. He is on the NBA PA in the Players Association, which is cool.
And
I
if
guess
he
it's
doesn't-
fair to assume, but
He wears those button-up shirts. He's a good guy.
yeah.
If he doesn't, who's trying to buy him? The Lakers?
Huh. I honestly wouldn't hate that. And I mean, probably not, because he's kind of a similar. What they would need from him is pretty similar to D'Lo. He's like short, a little bit better D'Lo. They're very similar players, how they operate. So probably not, unless they're trading D'Lo for him. But that would, no, it wouldn't be the Lakers. But somebody would probably want him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't shut the Lakers.
just got a lot of weird
idea
stuff
off,
going
like,
on.
completely. Yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm
it's not
sure
impossible,
for
but-
someone like CJ McCollum,
Yeah.
he's not like an immovable contract because he does provide a lot of valuable things still to the game, but it'll be a little bit tricky. But again, like they have Brandon Ingram too, who has a fair amount of value as well. So I don't know. They're in a tricky spot. They're in a spot to where like they had a little bit too much going on, and sometimes we hear this saying like sometimes less is more, and I think that's exactly what they had
That's
going
Pierre's
on throughout
thing.
the past year. Yeah,
That's why I asked Pierre how you feel about this. 'cause
that's
he's
your
always
favorite
talking about less
saying.
is
It's
more.
my favorite saying too.
Yeah, that's his version of you saying of the world.
That's mine.
That's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
That's my
this
favorite
team is
saying.
the opposite. They got more. They've
Yeah.
never thought about less. They've never
They
thought about
greedy.
less for a second.
For sure. Damn well greedy. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is also another thing where it's like we can sit up here and have a great conversation about the Pelicans, but at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it's going to rely on the health of Zion Williamson too.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So are
True.
we feeling like a B for the Pelicans?
yeah, let's give the Pelicans a B. I want to see other moves made, but we can give it a B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the
agree.
team stays as currently constructed, I think it's more like a C. That's way too much going on, but it's a nice stepping stone to the next move.
Well, yeah,
I
but
agree,
that's more of a grade for the front office. This is a good move to put yourself in position to go and make more moves. Whether or not you make those other moves, that just depends on whether the front office wants to be smart or dumb.
Yeah. How y'all feel about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope signing with the Orlando Magic?
It's
beautiful.
Oh man, what a beautiful.
That's great.
It's like a 95 for me.
Yeah, you got to be right. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
obviously
like
no
high.
guys spend too much time on that. It's an A+, right? You add
Yep.
one of the best 3D players in the league right now. But do y'all feel like they did enough with their cap space? Because they had the opportunity to do a lot, and they kind of went KCP and then keeping their guys on favorable deals. Is that a good use of cap space for them, you think?
In their eyes, probably. Because I think if you were going to like legitimately try and shake something up, and like they were trying to get Paul George, that would have been massive. But trying to get an actual point guard in the building, that would have been something that was that was crazy for them. But if you are going to come back and just add KCP, it's a bet on Franz Wagner returning to his normal self. And you say Paolo is going to take another jump, and Franz is at minimum going to get back to what we thought he was a year ago. And now we're going to get back to this optimism. We're going to have these two big wings. We're going to have, consistent shooting. So it's not I think that they're also still like very early in their development and in their timeline to where it's a fine move. I don't think not bringing in a certain type of player is a big mistake for them.
Yeah, it's obviously like good, right? They didn't do anything bad. They did what they had to do, but it felt like they had an opportunity to do something like exceptional and to put themselves in like an OKC type of situation where they have crazy depth and like are really ahead of schedule while their stars are cheap. And they didn't. They missed that. I mean, they tried, right? At the end of the day, you had to have players want to come to you, and they were close to getting Paul George and didn't. So his choice decides if we're talking about them as having an amazing offseason or just good. But it just feels like there could have been something a little bit better. But you can't be mad at the KCP signing.
Love the KCP. I would have been. I agree with you, Isaac. I would have been a little bit more aggressive, man. If you have that type of money and you got these young guys on these rookie deals, even if it wasn't like, and again, this is a two-way conversation because people got to want to come there and they got to want to kind of, maybe not have a long-term deal. But I would have did some short-term deals where I may be paying some guys $8 or $9 million more. You know, I would have just start trying shit like.
Yeah,
Buddy Hield.
Is there a player
come play
in
with
mind?
us?
Oh, okay.
Like we
Buddy
lack
Hield.
3-point shooting. Let's just overpay Buddy Hield on a 1-year deal. Come bet on yourself here. You know what I mean?
KCP
Like,
and then die at KCP. Let's get both of them.
yeah, let's just get both of them. Hartenstein. Like I would have been a lot more aggressive with Hartenstein. I don't know. I can't speak on it. I don't know what they conversations was with him, or if maybe they tried. You know what I mean? Like, but I would have just did that short-term deals that are like crazy overpays, and it's like if it works, we got something. If we don't, we wipe our hands, and he goes right back into free agency. DeMar DeRozan is still a guy that's out there. Like, and I'm just throwing shit at the wall here. He don't really fit the Magic. They good.
I would hate that.
Yeah, but this, just trying to use, like you said, the advantage of having these young players on a young contract or these rookie contracts. When you have so much money, just use it. Just try shit. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
How do y'all
I
feel
agree.
about? I mean, by signing KCP, obviously they're going to start Suggs. So KCP and Suggs is your backcourt. They're pretty much committing to their style that they've gone on with Paolo Banchero, right? They're basically saying you're the point guard essentially in a half court setting. You're going to be the lead playmaker. Franz Wagner too, another point forward. They're really going to play through these big ball handlers and empower them to develop as playmakers to eventually they can do that full time. Do y'all like that? Because I kind of want to see them get a point guard and not try to force Paolo Banchero to be, LeBron. I think maybe it'll work and the development will do him well in the long term. But I feel that's a lot of responsibility put on him that I think might be better served having a real playmaker next to him.
Who goes to the bench?
If they
That's
were
a
to,
great question.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is more like, should they have signed KCP or should they have found a point guard and put Suggs as a 2-guard long term?
I would have signed KCP. I mean, you still got
Yeah.
Tyus Jones. I think they got to get some type of point guard. That's been my issue with them. They have like these same mold. They have a depth chart of like 3 type of point guards, and none of them are like legitimate point guards. So I go get some type of guard. Go get Tyus Jones.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Tyus Jones is dead set on being a starter, but they definitely need some type of point guard. Yeah, they got Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, and they had Markelle Fultz and Anthony Black.
This
Go
team is
get
probably
somebody
Trae
who
Young
can be a
and
point
Trae.
guard.
Yeah, that's
Trae Young
a
in a
nasty
year and a
lineup,
half,
not
you
gonna
are
lie
an
to you.
Orlando Magic.
Yeah,
Oh, you
that's
get
all
ready to speak
hullabaloo,
Jalen
bro.
Suggs.
I like that.
That's disgusting.
Get ready to speak
Actually,
Jalen Suggs.
something else
Get
that
ready
they
to
actually
speak Jet Howard.
Something else that they actually could do is, we were just talking about them previously. If the New Orleans Pelicans were really about it and they threw out CJ McCollum out there, if I'm the Orlando Magic after paying all these guys, me personally, I would take a swing on him because why not? You have money to spend, and CJ McCollum, although he's not the natural point guard that you'd want and desire next to Paolo Banchero, he's better than what they have right now just simply because he's a legitimate threat. And I think that he makes them a better team. Now, of course, you sacrifice the defense, like you said, Isaac, and they kind of have to forfeit some of their identity because we all know CJ is not the defender that they're hell-bent in focusing around, but I think this makes them better as a team. So I think that move could be primed to happen 5-6 months from now, potentially.
Wendell
Yeah.
for CJ?
Oh, hold on. You're kind of cooking.
The money wouldn't work. The money wouldn't work.
Yeah, you're going to add some other shit, but those would be the 2
Yeah.
block. Yeah.
3-team
Me
deal 'cause they
personally,
need to get another
I would take
backup
that.
big in there. Yeah. I mean, are you going to start John Isaac at the 5 full time? Then Mo Wagner as a backup?
Now I'll start Mo.
You also got
I'll start
Badazzi you
Mo
just
Wagner.
signed. So.
Oh, yeah, they kept him.
True.
Yeah, they got to move somebody, right? They
Yeah.
have 3 centers and John Isaac. Somebody's getting moved for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think a CJ McCollum and whether it be Mo Wagner or Wendell Carter Jr., one of those moves have to happen, and whether it be with the New Orleans Pelicans or the Atlanta Hawks or whoever else they're out there, they're gonna make a move. I think they're just like being patient, which is never a bad thing.
Maybe they can listen. If D'Lo gets traded, let's say they do the Jeremy Grant thing. Obviously, the Trailblazers don't want him. Could they do Wendell Carter for D'Lo as their sixth man?
But now Portland. Oh, so where's Wendell Carter going, to Portland?
Or I don't know, or the Lakers, whichever one. No, man. Yeah. Portland has a billion bigs.
So a billion centers.
Try to get on that.
A billion centers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
I have a question.
Maybe he goes to the Lakers. What's up?
So with this move happening now, the Orlando Magic signing KCP. On the other side of it, the Denver Nuggets just lost KCP, of course. How do you guys feel about that? There were rumors to go ahead and replace him with Russell Westbrook, but we haven't seen anything finalized just yet. How do you guys feel about them?
I think a lot of these GMs are being cowardly with this whole second apron thing and using it as an excuse to be cheap as fuck. And the Cronkies should be embarrassed by how they're squandering.
Wait, their name could be. Wait, they're the Cronkies?
Yeah, the Cronkies. Wow. They own Stan Kroenke. They own a bunch of teams. They own the Nuggets, and they should be embarrassed for how they're squandering what could be an elongated run of Jokic's prime.
I agree with Isaac. Daryl Morey came out and spoke about the second apron and all of this other stuff and the new CBA rules, and he was saying, like, to him as a GM, the fun part is to find the Kelly Oubre's like last year, and when figuring out these diamonds in the rough. But you got to go get the talent, saving money. To not getting talent to save money. I just don't understand the logic. Obviously, the second apron is definitely something you got to be cautious of. But if you have the team that won a championship, you have to spend the money. There's no reason to save money when you have an opportunity to go on a championship run with a talent like Jokic. So I feel like a lot of teams are being scary as hell.
Yep. Them and the Clippers are just being scary as fuck, pretending it's the second apron. Really don't want to open the checkbooks for long-term money. It's ridiculous.
Plus, the KCP deal wasn't even crazy.
No, it wasn't.
It really wasn't.
It wasn't even some wild deal. Like Hartenstein's deal, like his deal is like, oh wow, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
3 for 66 that's a very normal contract in today's day and age. And if you are coming off of a season where your title defense got cut short, game 7 you blew a 20-point lead. You can run it back, and you had a couple issues, but now last year, like losing Bruce Brown, you saw how much that hurt Denver because now your bench is depleted and you were relying on these young guys. Now you're taking those same young guys and saying instead of activating your skill set on the bench, come do that in the starting lineup. You're putting so much more pressure on them, and it's putting you in a much worse position. They're playing around. And so like I'm looking at the Nuggets right now, and you think about the power rankings of the West. Are they even top 2 right now? Right? Like, are you confident that exactly? Are you confident that they are one of the elite teams that you feel good about going into next year? Obviously, they have Jokic and just doing that, but come on now.
Yeah, listen, it's a game of matchups. At the end of the day, Jokic is the biggest matchup you could possibly have to plan around, so they can still make something happen, and maybe Christian Brown surprises us. But, Calvin Booth likes to talk in the media. He does a lot of press conferences, and he's a confident guy. He's a confident guy, to say the least, in this process. He has quite the vibe of, like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Listen to me. Yep. And so much of what he's saying is cope. I bet if you're a Nuggets fan, you hear that, you can buy into it because of the confidence. You think about it for a second, and so much of what he's saying is making up for ownership, clearly not wanting to spend the money, and he's really good at spinning it.
100%. Now the Nuggets are going to be here, and all the other teams are going to pass them by. OKC got better. Memphis is third. Memphis is going to be back. The Thunder, not the Thunder, the Timberwolves, they're going to be back. Like Dallas has made moves. There's a very realistic scenario in my mind where is Denver like not going to be a top 4 seed next year? Like I can look at this team right now and it wouldn't be crazy just because of how competitive the West is on a night in and night out basis. And earlier that would be shocking if they go from winning a title to not having home court in the first round.
Earlier on Twitter, somebody asked me like which teams I think are better than the Lakers. So I did a quick like off top of my head power rankings just based on what we know so far. And I said 1 Boston, 2 OKC, 3 Dallas, 4 Timberwolves, 5 Memphis, and 6 Nuggets. I don't think that's crazy.
Wow.
They're low-key right on paper. And listen, in a playoff setting, I don't want to face Jokic, so I think he wouldn't be a first round exit or nothing like that. But on paper for a regular season, I think it might be the 5th best team in the conference right now.
Arguably,
Did you mention
the greatest thing for them is that the Warriors ain't on shit, so you can kind of subtract them for the mix.
And the Suns and the Clippers are obviously money laundering, so like it's just a whole bunch of incompetence around them.
That's tough.
Tough, man. Tough scene.
Hey, shout out Memphis. Memphis is people. I hope people understand right now that Memphis is going to be really, really good next year. And it's been a while since we've seen a healthy Ja Morant. Understand, Ja Morant is going to come back and he's going to be awesome. He's going to be amazing. So like,
I'm a little salty for them though, man, because I wanted them to get
Denver
Claxton.
or for Memphis?
No, for Memphis. I wanted them to get Claxton. He went back to Brooklyn. Okay, get your money. Then I wanted them to get Klingon. They couldn't trade up. They had to settle for Edie at 9, which I did not like. But
you're talking about I have all the Edie stock in the world. I love the fit. I can't wait. I'm gonna buy an Edie jersey at this point.
Damn,
you are talking to the number
I hope
one
you're right.
blazer on the internet right now. You have messed up.
Edie at 9 was too much for me. But there were just different scenarios where they could have been even better. And that would have just been good for the Western Conference. It's just funny because the Nuggets, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. You have to respect them because they have Jokic. And they still have a nice little foursome in their starting lineup. But the conversation is probably going to be, they're a piece away. They're a piece away.
Yeah. Which is hilarious because they had the best 5-man unit in the fucking league. It's crazy. It's just embarrassing, man. Just squandering one of the best players, probably the best player they'll ever have in the franchise's history in his prime. It's ridiculous.
It'd be billionaires trying to save a buck.
That's
Christian
sad.
Braun. And I like him.
Sad.
I like him, man. I like him. But it's just too much pressure, like you said, Mo. Or Donovan said that. It's too much pressure for him.
Yeah.
I like Julian Strother's game. What the fuck does he know about playoff minutes? Like, it's not going to be fun. It's tough. I've seen some of his songs. It's not going to be fun.
I can go ahead
let's
and
talk
show
about
you
better
5
team.
minutes of Payne Watson play, and you'll be all right.
Oh, my God. You mean Jared Vanderbilt? Yeah, man. Let's talk about a better team. Let's talk about the OKC Thunder. Let's kind of loop things together. The Hartenstein signing and the Caruso trade. They're both A's, right?
They won the offseason, bro.
A+
No
on
picks.
both ones.
No picks. They have the most picks to give up. The rest of the league and everybody in the world knows that they have 40 picks that they can offer. And they did not have to give up a single one of them to get Alex Caruso and Hartenstein. They fixed all the holes that they had. They got Josh Giddey up out the paint, and they got a backup big, and no picks had to be spared. Sam Presti put on a masterclass this offseason. They're amazing, and they are 100% the favorites going into next year to come out the West. Yeah.
We've talked about the Caruso trade a little bit. So that's self-explanatory, right? You move Giddey and don't give up a pick. You're absolute masterclass. How do you feel about Hartenstein? Because I think he'll probably end up being the backup big. And if not, he'll be like a 28-minute game starter if they decide to start him for politics. And on the surface, $29 million a year is a lot to give up for a 6-man. But they're in a very rare circumstance where they're 2 stars on a rookie deal, so they can afford to overpay for an elite player like that. Do you guys like that? Do you like the asset allocation of spending the money on a big?
Yes.
Me personally, yes. Absolutely.
I do. The other options were what? Go get Kyle Kuzma or something, some type of wing, some type of person that was going to get in the way of Shea and J-Dub. So it's like, go get it. But again, I hope they don't fall into the politics of feeling like they have to start IHart because the superpowers of Chet is at the 5. So
100%.
Let's keep it that way. The Caruso thing. This team may not only be the favorite to come out of the West, they may be the favorite to win the championship. What's the flaw? Not only do you do those moves, you then also do the right thing of doubling down on your talent in Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, where you probably could have got a little Hollywood. You could have probably just withered them away and said, Buddy Hield, come over here. But it's like, no, we got familiarity, we got vibes, we got chemistry, we got a young swagger. They double down on shit. They didn't trade any of the picks. So if any of this shit does go wrong, If they do say, hey, you know what, we didn't like Isaiah Hartenstein as much as we thought. Now seeing on the floor, all you have to do is say, here go 2 picks, and somebody take this $29 million. They will not have a fuck up in the next 5 years because they have not used any of those picks. Then on top of that, they went and drafted Nikola Topic at 12, who was a projected top 3 pick before his injury, and now he's get a red shirt year to just sit over there.
Exactly.
Like they do no wrong, and I'm just mad that they so good at what they doing.
I'm just jealous. I'm jealous of the competency. Like, what do you mean you drafted good Giddey and you can give him a year to develop and get hell healthy? Like, it's so
crazy.
annoying that they're so good. It just pisses me off.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to the Thunder, man. Shout out to the Thunder.
I love the Hartenstein
run away
move
this
because, like you
offseason.
said, Chet needs to be the 5. And people have long said, put him at the 4. And I think that's just like a misunderstanding of what makes him great. But, you know, we've also said they needed a 4 to put next to him. But they have so much versatility now where they can spend like 20 minutes of just Chet out there as the 5 and no other big. 12 minutes of them together, doing the double big thing with the Twin Towers. 15 minutes of just Hartenstein. You have so much variability to how you can play and so many different looks that if they had that option when they were playing the Dallas Mavericks and were able to go big at sometimes to throw them off, were able to go 4 out, 1 in with Hartenstein to give them a different look and not be so consistent with what they can do with the one-note version of offense they played before, listen, there might be a different team in the finals.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, who knows if they would have won the finals, but I agree that they probably would have been there, not because like Isaiah Hartenstein makes the world's difference. It's the effect that he has on Chet, J-Dub, and even how he can use his non-spacing abilities in smart ways and not be just taking up so much space and eating up just pointless space on the court. He's one of those smart players, and he showcased all that with the New York Knicks over the playoffs. So this is an A+ move across the board, bro.
Their biggest need was to not have Jalen Williams minutes in the playoffs as a center, and they addressed that. He can be the power forward in some lineups next to him. He's not an unuseful player, but he should not be your backup 5 against serious teams.
He's great for the vibes. All that barking that he'd be doing, needed.
Great locker room presence.
And then
Exactly.
they have
Need
Case
one,
and Wallace too. We don't even mention Case and Wallace.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
I remember I said I was on
Bro,
Twitter
they're
talking
so
about how
good.
they have they're so good, man. I was talking about how they have the potential to develop into being the new version of the Celtics with their 2 star perimeter players and all the guys around them. Like, they fit the description of how they won. I was like, listen, things will change real quickly once Case and Wallace takes that second and third year leap and becomes their fucking Derek White. Like,
Derek White,
things
yep.
are gonna look really different.
Yeah, you're right. They got 2 perimeter demons. Case and Wallace is right there developing and training, and then they got their big white man who's just an undeniable force on both ends of the court. That's the blueprint.
This is such a quick segment on them because all we can say is, man, these guys are motherfucking good.
I love
We're
Caruso. I'm
6
so
or something.
mad the rest of the NBA ain't doing shit. Y'all let them get him for Giddey.
It's embarrassing, bro.
They gave the Knicks five second round picks to move up a couple spots, and then the Bulls couldn't get nothing but Giddey. Now
That's
one second
again-
round
Dumb as,
pick.
the Bulls are
That's-
dumb
that's
as
what I'm
shit 'cause I
saying.
know they didn't do a bidding war. I know they didn't look around after that. They just took the first deal offered to them. Like, they're dumb as shit.
That's what I'm saying. This is the Caruso deal. It's more about how bad the Bulls are rather than like how good the Thunder are. Like, shout out to Presti for getting it done, for being the one to pick up the phone. But the Bulls, they scanned themselves.
They did.
This new regime is worse than Garpax, I think. They're horrible. I guess
They low key, yeah,
Worse.
low key.
I forget what's the GM's name. I forget.
Arcanius
yeah.
Sovis, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I tried to butcher it, but yeah. Listen, we made fun of Rob Pelinka for being. Rob Pelinka's really bad at making trades, right? It's not a secret that other GMs in the league don't fuck with him. Not a real competent GM with trade doing. He's the opposite of Sam Presti. You have Ak and Rob Pelinka in a call. That must be hilarious. It's like that tweet where it's like, it's always 2 dumb bitches saying yas to each other. That's them. Just gas each other up on just nonsense.
Pray for Chicago
goodness.
Bulls, man. Pray for the Chicago Bulls.
Hey, they got
It's
Modest
tough,
at least,
man.
though. That's like a bright spot.
Shout out to
them for
Modest.
that. I love that pick.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. But again, you can't even get him that much credit because he just failed there. Ain't like they pulled some strings. They just got lucky.
And I
That
bet
front
they picked
office
him
got to
'cause he's
go.
Lithuanian. He probably picked him because he's Lithuanian. I bet that's why. It probably wasn't even a good process. He's probably it was probably the worst reason ever that he lucked into a good decision.
Yeah, that, and he has ties to Illinois. Yeah, he got to be our guy for sure. They always got to keep a couple of those guys on the roster.
Definitely.
Anyway, let's talk about another team that's a bit down bad. Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors.
Oh man.
Obviously, they lost Klay Thompson. End of an era. Gonna feel weird as shit. How do y'all feel about the way they've reloaded around that? Because they got Kyle Anderson, they got DeAnthony Melton, and they might soon have Buddy Hield when it was probably going to be a sign and trade for some second round picks. What grade those moves in totality?
So right now, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Their projected starting lineup is Steph, Pods or Moody, depends on how you feel. Wiggins, Dre, and
Pods.
TJD or Looney.
Probably start Kuminga and Draymond at center.
Kuminga and Draymond at center. I like that a little bit more. Is that a top
I don't like either one, but
9-10 team in the West?
It might be 9th or 10th.
You really would need a crazy Steph year again, which at this point it's getting unfair to continue to ask him to play at this level. But even then, I don't know.
You got to ask the 36, 37-year-olds to put up 40 a game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're not a scenario where they can be great, but do you guys feel like they did the best they could moving around the margins after losing Klay? Like, are the moves individually like making the best of a shit situation?
Yeah. Like they probably couldn't do much better, right? We'll see. There's been some noise about them potentially, making some type of wild deal to go get Lowry. That's probably not going to happen. But Isaac Mo, we had a conversation the other day about like what do the Warriors do over the last couple good Steph years? Do you end up being just like 2014 through 2016 Kobe? And I was telling y'all like, hey, if I'm Steph, I'm just gonna ride it out. I saw these moves and I was like, Steph, get out. It's time for you to go. Like you don't have to deal with this anymore because
you telling me you didn't see Kyle Anderson walking through the doors and that wasn't appetizing to you?
I saw that and I actively was like, he needs to leave now. Like because they're fine, right? They're good for what the situation is, but they are not going to. They might miss the play-in next year. Houston is going to be better. San Antonio is going to be better. Memphis again is going to be back in the mix. And you go down all of these. You go down the list of all these teams, and they're probably going to be fighting with the Clippers, Sacramento, Phoenix, and at the bare minimum, at least those teams have a little bit more talent than what the Warriors do. It's going to be Steph versus KD and Booker. It's going to be Steph versus Kawhi and James. I have very little hope for what the Warriors can put on the floor next year unless three guys take massive leaps. And if they're just going to have an unprecedented season, by all means, I want to see it, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to be bad, man. They're going to be bad.
Yeah, man.
I do like some of the signings, though. I mean, the DeAnthony Melton, I thought he was a good kid for a 1-year deal. Kyle Anderson, he's a good basketball player, I guess. No. I really love Kyle Anderson. I'm a big Kyle Anderson fan. But I'm saying in the context for the Warriors, it's like I get, like, you know what I mean? Draymond kind of does the same thing. You want Kuminga to start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I just hate that they never go out and commit to size. Like, bro, go get somebody that's 7 foot, please. My goodness. Y'all got all of these small ass dudes. Go get somebody. But yeah, I don't know.
I love the difference in tone because you and like all of numbers on the board, you guys are a lot more respectful than we are. You guys are a lot more.
Yeah, we are.
You're very good at operating a certain way and not talking about players a certain way. No, you don't try to slander people.
Yeah.
Donovan was like, I immediately was like, get the fuck out of here. The difference in tone is hilarious.
I love where he was going at first because I feel the same way. Like, Steph, don't leave. Like, you know what I mean? I know it's bad, but there's nothing he can go get anywhere else that's going to make me value his legacy anymore. If he requested a trade and went to like Derek was like, man, he should leave. And we like, where? Go to Miami. And do what? You might as well just stay in San Francisco. He's big in the community. He got a family. His wife is like known. Like, just stay in the Bay and do your thing. But like, where could he go? That's just like, oh man, that's perfect for Steph. He might as well stay there. Any of these young teams,
Warriors,
you have
like
to
8 first round picks. You telling me the Warriors would be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think the Warriors say no, I'm good.
12.
Only because you don't want to be known as a team that traded Steph Curry to the fucking Thunder.
After losing Klay, too. Like, you don't want to do both of them during 1 year.
And then Steph is going to go over there and win 3 championships.
We talked about how the Lakers aren't competent and have been just doing a masterclass of terrible front office maneuvers for a while. We don't give, I mean, Twitter has, so I'll say that, but I think collectively the media does not give the Warriors front office enough slack for the fact that they turned Jordan Poole and then Chris Paul and Klay Thompson's contracts. It's a lot of tradable assets into jack shit, like a couple second round picks. They did so little with what they could have done at the deadline because they decided to run it back. Terrible asset management all around. Like, it's really horrible. You think your mic cut out, Pierre?
I think he's muted or something. Yeah.
I think we give him a little bit of a leeway because it's like Draymond kind of forced them into those situations.
Yeah, I guess, but like
that would be my only defense for them.
Maybe nobody wanted CP3, but to not do anything with that contract and lose that salary slot is so crazy.
They tried and they did the smart thing. They called the Bulls, but luckily the Bulls was like, they was like,
when in doubt, call the Bulls.
We dumb, but we ain't that dumb.
I just hate terrible asset management. That's what annoys me the most. Like we talked about during the draft, like the saloon pick for the Hornets. I'm like, cool, fine if you want to take a bet on him, but like trade back a little bit. Like I hate when teams just don't take advantage of the opportunities they have to like maximize assets. The Clippers, you don't want to send him to the Warriors out of spite, fine, but to not get those assets back and lose Paul George for nothing, moronic,
crazy.
And that's what the Warriors have been on. It's just been terrible asset management.
That was throughout the draft so much too. That was my biggest thing with the Edey. Edey would have been there later. Trade back. Ron Holland would have been there later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at least the Hornets, they said that the Spurs were going to take him at 8 if they swap with the Grizzlies. So at that point, you have to take your guy. But there was a lot of drafting where I was like, you could have got him if you traded back, dog.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Chris Paul. What do you grade him going to the Spurs?
I love this is an A+.
This is about Chris Paul. This is
it's an A+.
I think I said on the stream, like, if there's one thing about Chris Paul, if he's not going to go ahead and win a ring, go ahead. One of the greatest accomplishments of his career will be like, yo, I helped set the blueprint for guys like Wemby, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell. I gave them the blueprint to be professional and how to win at a high level in this league. This is A+ for him. What a way to go out.
And get $11 million. No, nobody else is getting him that shit.
Yeah, true. That is very true.
Bag, man.
I didn't realize it was that much. Damn.
Yeah, he got a bag. 1 year, $11 million.
This is an A+ 100 for him. This is where he's at his best. Like, this is more valuable for him than ring chasing because his voice does not carry the same weight in those other locker rooms versus when it's on younger teams. When my favorite years is him with OKC, him with the young Hornets in his younger days, him when he first got to the Clippers before they all became stars. Like, those are Chris Paul's best moments versus like on these veteran-led teams and he starts to annoy the other players like James Harden. That ran out so fast because it's like, yo, I'm James Harden. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Go here with these young guys who don't know what they're doing. Clearly you don't.
Listen, I always call Chris Paul Major Pain. James Harden is not the type of guy to listen to Major Pain. The Spurs young guys are.
Clearly you don't. That is hilarious. But yeah, I just like Chris Paul in these situations more than like teaming up with a James Harden.
Yeah. Stephon Castle tells everybody that'll listen that he's a point guard. And he also tells everybody that'll listen that he wants to be Shea. That's what he models his game after. Listen, Chris Paul helped the first Shea. He can help the second one. He can help him teach him how to do all that right.
This is very, very... Oh, and the Suns. I keep forgetting Chris Paul with the Suns. We saw them go...
That might be my favorite Chris Paul year. That was such a great team.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And he was such the missing piece.
Do you think they start Chris Paul?
I agree. He's such a... They have nothing to lose. It doesn't matter which direction they go. Yeah. He's such a culture setter. I think we're going to see this Spurs team go ahead and like win 35, potentially like 40 games next year in this like bloodbath of a West. Just because of Chris Paul. I think
I agree. The Hawks pick, we're going to give you the number 1 pick again.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But yeah, no, they should start and finish every game with somebody who can get Wemby an entry pass, who can throw Wemby a lob. Like, I've been thinking about these like Chris Paul, Wemby pick and rolls, and just like Chris Paul snaking around into the elbow jumper and throwing a lob 6 feet over the rim to Wemby. It's gonna be there's again. Listen, they're still gonna be the Spurs. Like they're not gonna win a championship, but you're gonna have a lot of those moments where it's like, okay, this is really fun though. So
look at this play.
It's gonna be good.
Look at this play. We got Keldon Johnson on top of the key, and he hits this lob on the back cut. They're doing this 20 times a game. It's just gonna be the Spurs offense.
100%.
I just don't
100%.
understand why Wemby can't, over the course of his career, be a 30-point scorer. He can get
he will for sure
12 points a game just by doing that.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna look like 80s and 90s basketball where the point guard just runs down the court and just throws it into the post of the one guy. Like John Stockton when he's fucking 45, getting 12 assists a game, just one hand dribble, tossing it into the post. That's what Chris Paul.
Sky hook. Let's get Wemby the sky hook, man. If he can get the sky hook, he's unstoppable.
Oh,
that'd be so disgusting.
I hope that doesn't happen.
No. You know what? Actually, no. Let's get Wemby. Let's get him to just dunk. Just catch it and turn it over. All the away from the basket shit, I'm done with. I want to see him just dunk the ball from the elbow.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that? That looks like it's a cat call. What the hell?
This video is crazy.
Pierre.
The visual is wild.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It looks like it could be that easy.
I just hear that. I see what he's doing, and then I hear that I've been a nasty girl song in my head. I'm like, what is going on? Right now? We're talking about basketball. What is going on right now? I'm getting uncomfy.
That song been stuck in my head the last couple of days too. Man.
Somebody screen record that and put Pierre doing that to nasty girl. I need to see that on my Twitter.
Nasty girl.
We have an army of 14-year-olds that do edits for us. Someone's gonna do that. They sent us some crazy edits. They're gonna make that for you.
See, that's why social media. That's the dark part of social media. You got pros and cons. They work so fast too. As soon as they see that, they're gonna do it.
And we have the most immature fans in the world. Like it's comical how immature they are. So they're gonna do it.
I can't judge. I'm immature too. I still be saying, pause. D. Mill said something about somebody like, man, he's a big ball handler. We was like, big ball handler.
I know that's all we do. That is all we do.
Jumbo size ball
making
handler.
dick jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the rookies was like, yo, chill.
We made Rob Dillingham so uncomfortable. It was hilarious.
What did y'all say?
I don't know if you saw it. I had him react to those hair swaps of the different players. So I look at Bronny, Bald, and everybody. And I prefaced it like, I want you to rate from 1 to 10 how good it looks. I meant how well the haircut fits them. And he was like, hey, yo, how good they look.
Did y'all just see Justin Edwards? They was making them put together the perfect player, and it was like looks, and Justin Edwards was like Jason Tatum, no pause or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't, you might as well not say his name if you're gonna say that. Just don't say his name.
You can't pause in the whole premise.
Yeah, you can't. It's too late.
Who made him do that real quick?
I think that was Bleach Report.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lips are zipped.
Interesting.
All right, y'all. I'm bearing the lead. We have one more big move to talk about. I saved the best for last. How do y'all feel about Tobias Harris to the Pistons?
Listen. Shout out Detroit.
Wow.
Shout out Detroit.
No,
this is something that
Don't
we
even
called
shout out Detroit.
again.
This is not about Detroit. This moment right here should be career defining for Tobias Harris's agent. In what world does he earn $52 million over the course of 2 years with what he just did in Philadelphia? That is historic.
It's crazy.
That's
$300 million in NBA money, man.
What?
Wow.
One of the best
Tobias?
bag getters of all time. That's honestly hilarious. I love that for him.
Is he
More money
the,
than KCP.
is he the Kirk Cousins of the NFL? Because Kirk Cousins, listen, Kirk Cousins be getting paid.
Yeah. That's a great comparison.
Tobias
This is like
just
Brock
like that.
Osweiler getting paid. Like this is even more funny. Like Kirk Cousins is like solid. Like Kirk Cousins
I didn't know
is
you
like,
had the football bag like that, Isaac. Okay.
They into it. Them two right there, they into it all.
I like that. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is like, I don't know, De'Aaron Fox. Like, he's still a good player. Tobias Harris is just crazy. Shout out to finding a market for a young team that needs them.
That's what I'm saying. It's just supply and demand.
Exactly.
The Pistons have no shooters. So Tobias Harris goes over there. He looks like Steph Curry. He looks like Klay Thompson. And they have nobody on that team. It's crazy. They were so desperate they had to go out and say, Tim Hardaway Jr., please be one of our shooters. Like it's Cade Cunningham on a fast break, and he has Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris on the wings that he's passing out to. They are in the trenches. This is what they're about.
They all was happy to go over there too. I think I seen Tim Hardaway Jr.'s tweet when he got traded, like bad boy Pistons something. I'm like, oh man, it's bad out here. It is bad out here.
If Tim Hardaway's dad is any indication how Junior is feeling, he's happy to go anywhere that's not Dallas.
Oh yeah, yeah. OG Tim Hardaway was like, "Man, we ready to get the fuck up out of here. Let's go."
That man hated Nico Harrison. He was ready to leave. God knows how he feels about Jason Kidd.
Oh my gosh, for no reason.
Oh my goodness,
nasty stuff here.
Well, man, that's all the deals we had to grade today. So that's the end of this section. And Pierre, that's the end of our time with you. We appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. We did a lot of good grading. Shout out to those Knicks, though. Shout out to those Knicks. It's gonna be a real good year.
I see you at the parade.
Yeah, what you want to drink?
I got you. Listen. I'm a Henny drinker myself. Anything is possible. Let's go.
I got you.
Let's go.
I'm sending this clip to the mayor of New York right now. We got to get this shit shut down. Not on my watch.
Welcome to TikTok time. Hope y'all enjoyed that main section of the pod with Pierre. Now we're back to nonsense. Y'all ready?
Crown eaters.
Nonsense.
Where you at?
Turn it
Come
up.
up from the walls. Come up from under those kitchen counters. It's time. Let's rejoice.
Forgot to remind you on top of the show, but if you're watching, drop a like, subscribe, rate 5 stars. Check out the Crayon Eater merch. It'll still be in the top link in the description. It's selling well. You guys are really fucking with it. Make sure to check that out. And we're gonna start with something real funny today. I have a tier list for you guys, and this is a tier list of 14 or something like that. Actually, I think it's 12 of my favorite NBA quotes.
Woo! Okay.
That's hilarious.
So these range. There's a lot of different types of quotes here, but we're gonna put them in a tier list. You can judge however you want, rank them in whatever standards you want, but we're gonna put these famous NBA quotes into a tier list.
Talk to me. What's first?
The first one on the list, we have LeBron James saying, "Cleveland, this is for you," after winning the 2016 championship.
This is an S tier. This is what every superstar player wants to have. They want this moment. Jason Tatum, when he said,
Facts.
"We did it," he was trying to go for that type of moment. Yeah. S tier.
Yeah. Jason Tatum, Steph Curry, all them constantly fishing for clips, and they want this exact thing in their legacy.
Was LeBron not fishing for a clip? Was he not trying to do what Kevin Garnett had did?
Nah.
Man, that was pure
LeBron
emotion.
was
He meant, come
crying.
on.
We're not
I
gonna say
believe he meant
okay.
that shit.
I'm just saying. Different
Maybe,
standards. That's
listen,
fine.
KG did it first. So listen, somebody's got to be the OG. Everybody else is baiting. I get it.
Yeah, man. With the way
It's
LeBron
still
was crying
S tier,
bro.
but I'm watching.
Listen, LeBron knows what he's doing. He's probably baiting too, but it was good bait. There's a difference between good bait and missed shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Those acting, if it was
LeBron
really
is
bait,
just much more
those acting
calculated.
skills, if that was really bait, those acting skills for LeBron James, since he's had movie history, really kicked in right there in that moment. He was on
He
that
showed his
ground
acting skills in
crying,
Space
bro.
Jam.
Listen, he was great
All
in Trainwreck
let's
though.
not slander one of those movies. Let's relax. That was a great movie to me.
All right, next quote. We got Anthony Edwards. Send a video.
Listen, this is S tier. This is S tier funny. You can't use it a lot. You can't use it a lot. You can only use it in specific situations, right? So you can't. It's not versatile. Listen, if you know, you know. But
Say that as if you do it all the time. Listen,
you know, we have to talk about that. I'll put it in A though. It's very funny though.
Okay.
Yeah. This has to be A. You can't take you can take Anthony Edwards out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him. This is A. I don't condone, but it was hilarious, and he was being the truest form of himself.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Michael Jordan on The Last Dance saying, "And I took that personally"?
This is also S tier. This made watching 20 hours of footage worth it, just because we got that one moment of Michael Jordan being like, "Yeah, I took it personally." He's like, "He didn't open the door for me. Personal." It's like every small thing was personal to him.
Everything that we once thought about Michael Jordan, he just confirmed with this. It was just like, oh yeah, this guy is a psychopath. This guy will find a chip on his shoulder for anything. All the aura just went up because we knew, oh, he's confirming he's insane.
And for that's why me personally, I would go ahead and give this a D. He needs therapy. He needs help. He was like 52, 53, acting like this, still feeling those same emotions that happened 30 years ago. Why? Get a life. You have 2 kids. Oh my God. Why is there still static between him and Isaiah Thomas till this day? Like 60.
Just old man in the park. Is that video? This guy's on TikTok.
He's a bum. He's been a bum since 86.
Yeah, he's 86. 30 years I've been busting his ass.
That's exactly how they are.
Oh my goodness.
This is a D, man.
I feel so bad for that other dude because I've seen multiple videos of them. He's never getting a bucket. He's always getting scored on. Like,
he's always
bro,
getting
you've had
busted.
4 decades to prepare. Watch film, right? Do some drills. I could put some cones out there for you. Get better at a certain point. It's a skill issue for him. It's tough.
Mo says D. Donovan, you still want to go S?
I'm still going S. It's hilarious.
All right, we'll settle on B. We'll put you guys right in the middle.
There you go.
We got Kobe Bryant saying, but are you a different animal and the same beast?
Ooh.
From a commercial with Kanye.
This is hard. This is
The
hard.
lore behind that. The mystique behind that.
This is my favorite piece of nonsense I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know what it means, but it came out of Kobe's mouth. Put this in S.
It's provocative. I'm putting an S tier.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love it. I catch myself saying this like a decade later for no reason.
It's amazing. It's worth it.
I feel
like I'm levitating.
But are you a different animal and the same beast? Like he's doing it's so good. The delivery's perfect.
Exactly. No one could say it but Kobe.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a Kobe line. It was so well written. Whoever casted this commercial was in their bag.
I bet you Jason Tatum is going to get that tatted on him one day.
Oh, hell no. He just catching strays.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
It's great.
All right. What about Matt Barnes saying, violence is never the answer, but sometimes it is.
One of the realest quotes of all time.
Exactly.
One of the realest quotes
He's
of all
so
time.
real.
Not gonna lie. Yeah, this might be an A or a S. What are y'all leaning?
Probably A. It's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
What was the context behind this?
Talking about Derek Fisher, which we're gonna go get into the context of that situation, but he was being real. I'll tell you that.
For the kids
I'll
at
go
home,
A.
situations
Yeah,
like this,
I'll go A.
he is actually right. I'd put it in A.
Okay, A it is. Again, quintessential Matt Barnes. Just like the Michael Jordan one, it confirmed everything we once knew about him. It's all true.
I agree.
What about Kevin Durant saying, Scarlett Johansson, I will drink your bathwater?
New tier. You got to put it in H. This is just horny. You know what I'm saying? Relax. All right. Take a cold shower. Go for a run. You're doing this on the timeline in front of everybody else. You have millions of followers, Kevin. Why are you showing out like this? Relax.
Bro, you're Kevin
Relax.
Durant. There's nobody on earth, like realistically speaking, who is unreachable. You were towards the prime of your career.
Exactly.
Number 2 overall pick in the NBA, and you're shooting your shot like this? Drinking bathwater?
Why can't
Stand
dudes
up.
be dudes?
Stand
we
up.
can't post anymore? Now we can't tweet? Now we can't be real on the timeline?
That's the one
Bro,
thing. That's the one thing. All the other quotes that we're talking about here is the quintessential version of that person. Kevin Durant, he's just a guy, right? He just wants to be a dude.
Guys being dudes. What's wrong with this?
Exactly.
You're right.
So I mean, for that
who was at a
reason,
club posting up and practicing.
Might have to bump it up.
So you're right.
We'll go C. We got to balance the horniness and the realness. C it is. What about Paul George saying, if you look at the box score, we won this game. In a game that they lost.
yeah, you dummy. Like, what does that mean? What is this? Come on. You
Wait, was
lost.
this the OKC Blazer series or what?
I don't remember when he said it. I think it was on the Pacers.
Which Paul George quote is worse? It's like, is this one? He's like, it's a bad shot. You know, like, okay, you're going home.
I'm going F on this one because he thought it was a bar. This was supposed to be like one of those manufactured moments where he thought he was getting on that podium and he was finna say some shit that everyone quotes and makes graphics from. And everyone's like, oh, wait, that actually makes no sense and it's not funny.
He said, at the end of the day gonna end. Like he thought that was gonna happen.
I ate with that one.
He said, but I'm not a rapper.
I'm dead.
Paul George is so sassy for that, bro. I think you missed Isaac. I was like, these.
That's so good. That's so good.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
What about Jared Allen saying the lights were brighter than we expected?
This is S tier. This is S tier. He has provided NBA Twitter with the meme that we can always go to anytime anybody fails. Right up there. You are Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Outside of the NBA. Listen, you working in any other department. You didn't do your job. Lights were too bright. It's so versatile.
On God. Bro.
Exactly. You can use it anywhere.
If you're driving and you're trying to make a left turn in yellow and you're in the middle of the lane and you just freeze, hesitate, the lights are too bright in that instance right there, bro. You see a pretty girl who you like and she just walks into the elevator, lights are too bright, bro, for that moment. You don't have it in you. Applicable everywhere.
And shout out Jared Allen for visualizing it for us forever. It's great.
Why would he say
real.
this? You gotta know.
Real.
You have to know though. People are gonna use
Everyone
this
has
against
these
you.
moments. You're right. People think he's a. You're right.
Exactly.
All right, what about CJ McCollum saying, I'm trying, Jennifer?
That was hilarious, bro.
That was very funny.
That's a solid
my
B.
God.
That was a funny ass moment. I love
What
her
did Jennifer say to him?
She was like, try to win some games or some shit. She was saying they need to do better. Why aren't you winning championships? And he's like, damn, I'm trying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard.
That's
The
just
Warriors
real.
are good.
That's just real.
Have you seen Kevin Durant? I can't guard him.
I'll put that in B.
Yeah, I'll put it in B.
Yeah, that's just real.
TJ McCollum's hilarious. What about Paul Pierce saying, I'm tired of getting a taste of him. I want the whole load.
Wow. Wow. He said this on TV?
Yes.
Live TV.
On like ESPN back when he had those days?
You see his suit. You know he's working for ESPN.
Yeah, pre-scandal.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that wasn't even a
this.
scandal. Exactly. And that wasn't even a scandal. just guys being guys, dudes being dudes.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I'm
the guys
saying?
can't be dudes no more.
It was just chilling.
What is this fascism?
Why
in the
can't we just
comfort
talk
of his
normally
own
when it
home.
comes to talking basketball?
Why can't I invite who I want to at my house where I pay the mortgage? Why does ESPN feel like they need to jump in, right? I was off the clock, right? I'm not punched in. That's messed up. He should have called HR. That's a violation.
Oh, man.
Well, where are we going with the whole load quote?
Dang,
I know you can relate, Mo. I don't know why you're over there acting all coy.
Mo does like the whole
I've never
load.
said anything crazy like
He
that.
does
before
wish
in
for
my
it a
entire
lot.
podcasting life. Bro.
Obviously. He
Whoa.
hates just getting a sneak peek.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
No, I do not. That is crazy. I think this belongs in D. We haven't had a D tier just yet, so.
Okay. It's embarrassing, but it's not as moronic as the Paul George quote, so we can go D.
Yeah, the Paul George quote was genuinely like embarrassing.
Yeah. All right, what about from Kobe? Friends can come and go, but banners hang forever.
See, from Kobe, that's S tier, right? For everybody else, you're doing too much because you don't have the 5 rings, right? This people will say this, and it's just a kid on JV who gets no playing time. Like that's the difference. So I'm gonna put it in S tier though, just because Kobe said it.
Glaze. But okay, we can do that.
That's why we're doing all of this.
Next one, we have Draymond Green. One of my favorite quotes. Where's that? I forgot to write down. What's the exact verbatim what he said? When he said to Paul
I probably
Pierce.
remember it.
He was
No, they don't love you like Kobe loves you.
Yeah. He was like, you
Something
think you're
like
getting a
that.
farewell tour? They don't love you like that. You're not Kobe.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Me personally,
See.
I want to put this in S tier.
No, this
That was peak
this is
trash talk.
Listen, Draymond Green says a lot of shit. Some of it hits, some of it misses. Podcast mic in front of him. He's a volume shooter of shit talk. This is his greatest achievement. This is his Mona Lisa. This is some of the best shit talk I've ever heard. To say this exactly to Paul Pierce must cut so deep. You read him. It was perfect. This is easy S tier.
Exactly. The truth hurts. And Draymond knew exactly what to say. So yes, that's
Exactly. He pushed the perfect button because they in fact don't love him like that. Paul Pierce said, "This is my farewell tour," and it was crickets.
What do you say after that?
On the Clippers. Nothing.
Yeah, if
you
you're
just
Paul
be
Pierce, what do you
quiet.
say?
You just
It's
be
like,
quiet.
damn, maybe he is right. If someone said that to me, I'd retire right then and there. I just walk out, bro. Here's my jersey.
Last one. We got Paul George talking to Taylor Rooks saying, "Mark my words, I'm going to be on my bully shit this season. I have to bully." In year
Oh my
15.
God. Now listen, he was talking to Taylor Rooks, so we
That's
heard
what I'm
Jaylen
saying.
Brown said that he was going to win 5 rings in like 8
NBA
years or
players
something
act
like
up
that.
when they talk to her. They say the most outlandish shit.
It's not her fault, but they be lying to her face, to her face. They get up there and just talk. This is also embarrassing. What have you been doing for the last decade? I've been talking mess for a decade. You haven't bullied once. What are you doing?
He said, "Where you
Come
going?"
on.
The delivery's so funny. Like, I'm going to be on my
I got-
bully shit. Okay.
I have to
And
bully.
then he follows up, "I have to bully." It's so funny.
He's like, I must bully. Like, bro, get out of
Like,
here.
I cannot help it. I must bully. It is required. It was so robotic. It was so unsmooth. It was hilarious.
Get out of
And
here.
he tried to get a bar off.
Have to.
That's hilarious.
They're all
Stay
trying to get bars
bars
off, man.
You know what's my favorite quote that didn't make it here? It's so applicable everywhere too. I think it happened 2 years ago when Kyrie Irving was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, Lakers rumors are around, and LeBron just tweeted, "Maybe it's me."
Maybe it's me. It's so funny. All right, next thing we're
that
gonna
was
do.
so classic.
Maybe it's me. I love that one. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna run back a basketball topic that we did a while ago. I'm gonna name some NBA players, and I want you to tell me if you think they're gonna be remembered as a superstar, a legend, or just a guy. So we're talking about how NBA history is gonna remember these guys.
Shout out to the guys, man. I remember the guys more than the stars and the legends.
Shout out to the guys.
This
There you
league,
go.
this league wouldn't exist without the guys. Not everybody can be a superstar. Not everybody can be a legend. How good of a guy can you be?
If you're still here, comment shout out to the guys.
Exactly.
Shout out to the woes.
That's great.
Damn, I was drinking some water. I just hit the shit out of my tooth with my water bottle.
God damn.
All right, first
That's
name.
crazy.
Carmelo Anthony. Legend, superstar, or just a guy?
He's not a legend. Can't be a legend. Sorry.
I actually
I don't
think
know.
that
He has a lot of aura. He has a lot of allure for being so skilled. Now, is his legend status as like a quality of a player? Probably not. But I think he might be remembered that way by a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think Carmelo's going to be viewed as like he's not one of like the top like 10, 15, even 20, best players of all time. It really is like a specific moment, a specific era of people that are like, no, Carmelo is this, and this, even if the numbers don't match up. So he definitely is like a legendary player.
Yeah, I think he's kind of in
Okay.
the Allen Iverson range where like the dog level and the aura level is greater than the realistic, on paper resume.
Yeah, but
5-level
even
score.
then, like, he's never had a moment like Allen Iverson at his peak. That's what's missing.
Sure, I agree.
But I understand the aura.
Yeah. We're talking about how history's going to remember him. I think history will think about him fondly.
True.
History be lying. They always lie.
Next name, Russell Westbrook.
Oh no, this guy's a superstar. He's going to be
Yeah.
remembered as a superstar. You have an
I don't know.
MVP of the league. MVP of the league. That alone solidifies you as like one of those guys. Now people like you are going to say that he's just a legend, but no, he's a superstar. Cuz you be hating.
Legend is above superstar.
What?
Yeah. So it's legend,
do not
superstar,
understand the
and then
assignment.
guy.
Oh no, I thought it was backwards.
Legend is like the best, second best is superstar. And
Oh,
then-
because it was like 1, 2, 3. So I thought like superstar
Yeah.
was one, then it was legend, then it was just a guy.
no.
It's 3-2-1. Legend is the best. Like you're one of the greatest players of all time. You're a
Oh,
legend
see-
in the game. Superstars, you're
L
very good in your
comprehension?
time. And just a guy is like, yeah, L comprehension. L listening.
What do you mean? I read the title slide. The title slide said superstar, legend, just a guy. And we went 1, 2, 3. What do you mean comprehension?
We've done this before. Don't
What do
blame
you
my
mean?
typo. Don't blame my
What do you
typo. We've
mean?
done this before. Okay, so Russell Westbrook, legend,
L
superstar, or just a guy?
That's not on me. That's not on me. I'm not taking that. I'm not. I'm not
It doesn't matter if you take it or not. We all understood the assignment.
I'm not doing that. You guys will hear me at the post game press conference. I'm gonna speak my truth. You guys will hear me.
Okay.
He's definitely a superstar, MVP, one of the best players in the league for a long time. Do you think the Mr. Triple Double title gives him legend status? Is he going to be remembered like that?
Yes,
Easily,
I do,
without a doubt.
That could age really well.
Yeah, the storyline of KD leaving him and him dragging the Oklahoma City Thunder with Sabonis on his team, who was a rookie sophomore, Oladipo before his burst, not Jeremy Grant, my bad, but Andre Roberson, Kyle Singler, Enes Kanter, Steven Adams, zero spacing, one of the worst spaced teams in the modern NBA at that point in time. I think he's a legend.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like Melo. He should just be a superstar based on quality. But when decades from now, when kids look back and look at Basketball Reference and they see these ridiculous box score stats, they're not going to know about all the narratives that were attached to that and all the inefficiencies, the turnovers, the lack of spacing, all that. They're just going to see absurd triple doubles every year. And I think he's going to be remembered really well.
100%.
And they're going to see the heart, the passion, the grit, the soul that he pours out. He is Mr. OKC.
All right, get off the ground. Next one,
I'll stay
Tony
on.
Parker.
This is interesting.
Tony Parker is the quintessential person to where it's like, for Spurs fans, he's a legend. For everybody else, he's Tony Parker. Like, he's cool, right? But he's not crazy. But for Spurs fans, they will ride and die about Tony Parker.
100%. I think he's just a guy, but he's one of the best guys of all time. You can't always have superstars across your roster. You have the legend in Tim Duncan. You need some really high quality, just the guys next to him. And this guy for 15 years was the most reliable guy you could imagine.
That's so tough to think about Tony Parker as just a guy because he was such an important guy. But then again, like, he was.
Some guys be essential. It is what it is.
Exactly. And he was never like the cornerstone guy. He was never the guy. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't really be a superstar if you're never like a top 10 or even probably maybe not top 15 player in the league.
All right, yeah, we'll go just a guy.
Real
Does he
important guy,
have does he have a Finals MVP to his name? Or am I joking?
He does.
He does. Shout out Tony
Yeah,
Parker,
he's definitely
man.
one of the worst
best
Finals MVPs for sure.
She met a guy, a better guy.
guys. Next one, Rudy Gobert.
I would like to remove myself from this conversation as I am clearly biased in a certain way.
Man, let it flow. Let the hate flow. We need it. Bring the energy. Just let it go. Don't.
Man,
don't
this
hold
guy,
back.
he's just a guy. He's just a guy.
How?
So he's definitely good enough to be like remembered as a star.
He might
But
be legendary.
History does not remember defense. I'll tell you that. The average fan does not give a fuck about defense. They're going to look back decades from now and be like, what do you mean this guy averaged 12 points a game? Get this bum out of here. The casuals are not going to remember him in 20 years.
He might be a legend, though. He might be a legend. He might be the worst DPOY ever. He's going to be the most fraudulent DPOY ever. I'm playing. Just joke. I had to go there one time. But nah, he's fine.
He's
I don't
fine.
know.
That's the nicest
Are you
you can
telling
do.
me-
That's the best you can muster.
France loves him. Maybe.
Legendary France player.
He's one of the best guys.
I wonder
of
how
all
they
time.
feel about him over there. Like, do the French really rock with Rudy?
Do they
I need to
rock
know.
with Rudy Gobert?
Do we have to go to Paris to find out? Do we have to do street interviews in Paris?
Going to Paris for the exclusive reason of asking what their thoughts on Rudy Gobert is disgusting work.
Somebody
And
has
it's
to
a
do
trip
it.
that out making a heartbeat.
Exactly.
All right, next player.
We'll figure it out.
Donovan Mitchell.
Unfortunately,
At this point in time of his career, he's not
just
a guy. I think he's a superstar. No.
he's just a
But
guy.
here's the thing. He's a superstar level talent, but he only has one All-NBA team right now, I think. And that's insane because the guards are just so stacked in the NBA that he's overshadowed, so he might be just a guy, but he's definitely good enough to be a superstar.
Exactly. He's good enough, but I mean, it's like, and again, no disrespect, but D-Mitch hasn't done anything crazy in his career up until this point. He hasn't elevated himself and cemented his place in like NBA history, even though that he has a conference finals run. Like he's gone places, but nobody really remembers it.
Yeah, we might look back at him the same way we look back at like Baron Davis or something. He just kind of gets forgotten to history, even though he was like a great all-star.
Don't do that to Baron Davis.
No, he's better than Baron Davis, but like forgotten all-star to history.
Yeah, no, I'm talking to Mo.
Yeah.
No, shout out to Baron Davis. Cool guy. He is a guy, but he's not Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, but who else is a forgotten all-star? Like LaMarcus Aldridge. That's probably just a guy, and that's tough because LaMarcus Aldridge was a bucket.
Folks will never know about those days.
Right shoulder turnaround.
Donovan Mitchell being a guy.
Listen, you play for Utah and you play for Cleveland. You're not doing yourself any PR points there. That's hard to get remembered in history for those franchises.
That is true. That is true. And the one time he went crazy, the one time he went like super, super crazy in the playoffs, didn't even have the fans there. So it's like, you don't even have those moments. It's tough.
Unbelievable, man. One of the best guys I've ever seen. Next one.
Get him out of Cleveland.
James Harden.
Legend. He quite literally figured out the game to the point to where
tricked the game, not figured it out.
Oh my God.
He figured it out. Quite literally to the point to where the NBA had to patch him and implement new rules so this motherfucker couldn't get more free throws.
They had to patch him. Facts. They changed the fucking foul drawing rules because he was too OP. Yeah. We had people defending him from behind him. He was ridiculous. Legitimately broke the game. We say that about a lot of guys that are unguardable. You had to resort to trickery as a defense to try to guard him. It was absurd.
Bro.
Because he was resorting to trickery on offense. This man was cheating out here.
There was a defensive scheme to go ahead and guard him with your hands behind your back so you wouldn't foul him. What other NBA player in history has that type of pull? Nobody.
No, he's going to age so gracefully in history. Like, people don't appreciate him right now because he's washed. We kind of forget about what he was doing 5 years ago. In a decade from now, we look back and we're like, how is this not one of the greatest scorers of all time? How did he not win a championship?
And then I show you the highlight tape of the 13 turnovers in the elimination game. Or him getting blocked by Ginobili. Or him going...
Oh, that's how.
Realistically speaking, though, every single team that he's had, like he's always had the worst team. There's never been once where he had like a real advantage. Yeah,
he's rarely lost. That's an unspoken part is he's rarely lost when he was favored to win. There's been some times where they should have won and they were like, obviously against the Warriors, they were so close and they missed 27 threes in a row. But it's very rare he's lost as the more favored team, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But sucks to suck. If you're one of the best players of all time, you got to be an underdog and win sometimes.
He has to have some luck, and luckily he has none.
But that's a legend right there. Next player, Kyle Lowry.
We're just trying to make me upset today.
Great guy.
He's trying to piss me off today.
Is this a Hall of Famer?
Stop.
Is this a superstar?
Stop. We could cut TikTok.
He might be a Hall of
early.
Famer.
we can cut it early.
This is a legend to Toronto.
They can have that. They can have that. This is stop. Let's not. Let's come on.
Dwight Howard.
Ooh. He's not a guy.
No, he's definitely not a legend either. This is quintessential superstar.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
I agree.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, listen, he's a great DPOY, great all-time player. Not one of the best two-way players of all time because of the offense. Not one of the most accomplished players of all time. Not one of the most productive players of all time. But great at all those things, individually. Superstar.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, the back injuries really cooked him, and then him not getting along with one of the greatest guards of all time, and Kobe, and then the James Hardens of the world. It was his career aura just took a steep decline once he entered LA.
No, he for sure has like the worst personality tax of all time. He's so underrated. He got lifted off all 75 because people think he's annoying. That's crazy.
Damn, Dwight, you annoying like that?
Bro, he was showing up to bubble DJ parties and it was just him. Like everybody else is like, nah, like I'm gonna stay in my room. And Dwight was like, I'm going to the lobby. It's going down.
Bro, they were talking about him the same way the Mavs were talking about Grant Williams when they traded him. They're like, get this annoying motherfucker out of here.
That's bad allegations.
The NBA does not deserve him. That's why he's in Taiwan, balling, hooping, getting up all the numbers, and winning championships.
And he has ownership. Look at that.
We love
better life.
Next thing we're gonna do kind of like a variation of 20 questions, which is an old T3 staple. I'm gonna think of an NBA player, and you guys are gonna have to guess an NBA player by saying other names. And all I can say is hot or cold. You're not gonna know the context of that, of why you're hot or why you're cold. You gotta try to guess based on that.
Okay. Okay, switch up. I like this.
Yep.
I might be fried when it comes to this, but let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. It might be difficult. We'll find out. So again, very simple game. I'm gonna think of an NBA player. You try to guess who it is, and all I can say is hot or cold.
Let's talk about it. All right, let's go. All right, we'll start off. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Cold, I think.
Okay, that means he has no aura. Let's get that off the bat. Let's think of auraless players. All right, auraless players. Let's go with T.J. McConnell.
Very cold.
Damn. Okay.
All right, so maybe it's a big. So Chet Holmgren.
Very cold.
Okay.
Maybe he's black. Okay.
Kyle
Bam
Anderson.
Adebayo.
Warmer than Chet Holmgren, but still cold.
Okay. Huh. Cold. Okay, cool. Donovan Mitchell.
Getting warmer.
Getting warmer.
Devin Booker.
Okay. So
You're very warm.
Anthony Edwards.
Kevin Durant. Oh wait.
Anthony Edwards, you're still warm.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
A little bit colder, but still warm.
Bradley Beal.
Okay, not that good.
You're getting colder.
I got it. Jaylen Brown.
Warm, but not there yet. It doesn't got to be a current player.
Kobe.
Oh.
It's Kobe Bryant. There you go.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Okay, I see how this works.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you see?
It's very hard
Okay.
because one player has like 8 different things.
Yeah, there's so many reasons I can say hot or cold, but you got it.
Yeah.
It's Kobe Bryant.
Can you play it again?
Okay.
I kind of
Yeah, I'll
like
do it
this
again.
game.
This time, Donovan, you think of a name. This is tough.
This is tough. Who am I gonna think of? Okay, I got the
I can
name.
go right now.
You got it?
I got the name.
Okay. Go
Anthony Edwards.
Cold.
Anthony Edwards is cold. Damn. Okay. What about Obi Toppin?
Still cold.
Nikola Jokic.
Warm.
Warm. Pau Gasol.
Luka Doncic.
Colder. And then you are so a little colder for Isaac for Isaac saying Pau Gasol. Very cold for Mo saying Luka.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow, very cold. So he's
A little
not
bit
guard.
colder for Pau Gasol. DeMontis Sabonis.
Like lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
Okay, so Jokic is the warm one. So
Who's
far.
another
So
guard? So who's another player in that vein? Lukewarm.
Joel Embiid.
Boris Diaw?
Warm. Very, very warm for Embiid.
Okay.
Hey, we're feeling something out.
We're orbiting right now.
Yeah, exactly. We're waiting. We're swarming around, ready to strike. Anthony Davis.
Less warm. It was colder.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so
Giannis
Jokic-
Antetokounmpo.
Warm.
Okay. Still warm.
So it's got to be an elite big man.
Is it all time?
Victor Wembanyama.
Warm.
Okay.
Watch it not
Is
be
this-
big man. We're just swarming on this. It's not that.
Yeah, I know. Damn, no Wemby.
Maybe it's not a current player. Maybe it's somebody like that. Hakeem Olajuwon.
You got it. It is Hakeem
There we
Olajuwon.
go. There we go. That's why I asked the question. There we go.
I wanted to say will be warm for Wemby because obviously he will be
Soon
all
to be
time.
warm.
We know. But
Gonna pop in the microwave
Okay.
real quick.
exactly.
That's hilarious.
All right, Mo, you want to think of one?
30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Dang,
LeBron
that was
James.
quick. He's like, dang.
Cold.
Cold. Okay. I think some bullshit. D'Angelo Russell.
He is.
Cold.
Trae Young.
Okay.
Cold.
Shannon Brown.
I was thinking Shannon Brown too.
What the fuck? Why?
I would say for
I don't know.
that. I would say you're not as cold, but still cold.
Damn.
Okay, so that knocks
Trevor
out Trevor Ariza.
You're getting warmer. No. You're getting warmer. Warmer.
Lamar Odom.
Warmer. Not necessarily there yet.
Matt Barnes.
Colder.
Pau Gasol.
I would say lukewarm.
Ron Artest.
Cold.
Damn.
Wrong direction.
Okay.
Wrong direction.
So Trevor Ariza is getting warmer. PJ Tucker.
You're getting lukewarm.
Eric Gordon.
I like where your head is at. Eric Gordon?
Yeah.
Cold.
Okay, so Trevor Ariza is our best bets.
Trevor Ariza.
Luka Mbamute. I don't know.
Cold. No. Cold. I got y'all in hell. I'm thinking about like around this era-ish, you guys are in your bag right now. And when it comes to the level of player, in your bag.
Okay, so it's a 2000s role player. Ooh, J.R. Smith.
You are warm. Getting warmer.
Amon Shumpert.
Cold.
Danilo Gallinari.
Lukewarm.
Jamal Crawford.
Cold.
Damn, this is tough.
What? Serge Ibaka.
You guys are in the right era.
Serge Ibaka.
Ooh, warm.
I was just thinking, Kevin Martin?
Kevin Martin, no, cold.
Okay. It's a Thunder player. Is it
No, it's not a Thunder player, but this motherfucker has size. So you are, I think
Kendrick
Donovan
Perkins?
was the closest so far. Cold, no. Kendrick Perkins? Why did I think of him?
He's got size.
He's Big Perk.
He's just good at being big. That's it.
All right, okay. So Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka.
Man.
Think about that era.
Zach
Think
Randolph.
about that era. I would say
Big Baby Davis.
Fuck! You got it.
Yeah!
Let's fucking go.
Clutch it out.
I knew it.
Good job.
There we
Good
go.
job.
There we go. You're in your bag with that one.
All right, so what do
I
we
wasn't
have
trying to
left
say too
today?
much. There we go. That was great. Ooh.
Next thing we're going to do, we're going to play Keep 3, Cut 3. So I'm going to show you some slideshows that have 3 names on them, or 6 names. Real simple. You got to keep 3 of them, you got to cut 3 of them. We have various themes here.
Okay.
It's going to be difficult.
Big Baby Davis.
Hope he's doing well.
If y'all are watching the live stream from Sunday, we were live streaming free agency for the few thousand of you that were there. What's wrong with Big Baby Davis? If you know, you know. If you're there for the last 20 minutes, you'll know.
All-time TD3 clip. They're not
hilarious.
tuning in when it comes to those, man. All time.
Facts.
Keep 3,
you're not
cut 3.
tapping
Let's
on the
do it.
streams, you're missing out. All right, so real simple. Keep 3, cut 3. We got Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, John Wall, John Morant, Trae Young, and Derrick Rose. All athletic point guards.
Okay, so instantly, Trae Young got to go.
What?
First one?
He's not even the worst player here.
He has to go. I'm sorry.
If Trae Young got to go,
not the worst
John Wall
player.
got to go too.
I'm cool with that too.
Okay.
And then
you're kicking
now-
out John Wall.
and
cool.
then
Okay,
I'm
so he
sorry.
stays.
Trae Young first though.
Listen. I already know who stays.
Dame
The-
stays.
It's the
He has to.
the top left. They stay. Everybody else in
Kyrie
the bottom.
and Dame are locks.
Yes, and I'm taking John Morant over Derrick Rose.
Or are we? What are we gauging off of? 1 year peak or totality?
Totality.
John Morant.
That's tough. I think if you give Derrick Rose this type of spacing, man, we might be having different type of conversations around him. It's hard.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly. I'm taking Ja.
Okay. You guys don't respect Prime D Rose. You guys don't respect 22-year-old D Rose.
I respect him just fine.
It was just 1
Nah,
year.
you actually
It's just
don't.
1 year.
Tragic.
Okay, so next one. Victor Wembanyama, Paolo Banchero, Tyrese Halliburton, LaMelo Ball, Chet Holmgren, and Scotty Barnes.
So this is really keep 2, cut 3 because we know one of them's not getting cut, right? Wemby's not
And
getting
that
cut.
is Victor Wembanyama. He is staying his ass put.
He's here.
Okay. We can't
He might
cut
get 2
Paolo,
seats.
right?
We might just keep one more. We don't need 3.
To be
Paolo
honest.
can't get cut, right? He has to stay.
I mean, he might be able to.
Okay, so who gets cut first? LaMelo gets cut, right? Just can't stay fucking healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just natural. LaMelo gets cut. And then
I
after
think
LaMelo.
I think Chet has to stay.
If we're going off of
That's so
last
tough
year,
with Scotty Barnes.
listen, there's 4 All-Stars here, so it's hard to keep Chet if we're going off of last year. But long term, I'm definitely keeping Chet.
If we're
Rejecting?
if we're going off of last year, we can do that. We can go off of last year. I'm sorry, Chet, you got to go. So Scotty can stay.
Chet, you're cut, but next year you'll be here, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then
So
Paolo
Paolo-
versus Tyrese.
If Paolo stays,
Paolo's staying.
Scotty or Tyrese, both All-Stars, but one was in the conference finals and one was in the lottery. But it's not Scotty's fault.
It's not Tyrese's fault they was in the conference finals either. Everybody died on New York. So
Right now Tyrese is better, but man, Scotty's not far behind. Scotty's underrated.
His team was so bad last year. And he made a sizable jump too. Tyrese did as well, of course.
Scotty played a lot worse after they traded Pascal Siakam and he had to be the one option. We know Tyrese can carry a team right now.
Pascal Siakam. Yeah. Okay.
You had to say the E40 voice?
Yeah. All right. Top row stays, bottom row goes.
Yeah, I hate to do it to you, Chet. You know, I'm in number 1 fan club. Mm-hmm. Last one. You guys see the name, audio listeners. Jokic, Embiid, Hakeem, Dwight, David Robinson, Ewing.
It's actually really easy.
No,
There's
it's
So
not.
Hakeem and Jokic is staying off the bat, right?
Super easy. Yes.
Yes, those two right away. And
Okay.
Patrick Ewing is gone.
Yes. Dwight
As
is
much as I
gone.
hate to say, Dwight's gone as fuck. That's also the easy one.
Yeah.
Damn, Dwight.
Listen.
You're gone as fuck.
Don't
Not
sit
even
here.
you're gone as fuck. Damn.
Don't sit here.
They're not
Don't sit
kicking
here
you
and
out
try
the
to tell
door,
me
they're
this.
throwing you.
Is it obvious? Okay, so is there no argument for Embiid to go over David Robinson?
No, you're trying to make good TV, and I respect you for it. It's not a conversation. Get Embiid up out of here. This is David Robinson's spot.
I just feel inclined to defend Embiid because you're such a hater, but like I don't know if it's possible. David Robinson is him.
You're saying you'd rather have David Robinson in the NBA right now than Embiid, Donovan?
Yeah.
Well, listen, if regular season Embiid was there in the playoffs, then maybe he'd be better. But if I could fly, then a lot of things would be different too.
David Robinson is like a swole gazelle, bro. Like he's just running up and down the floor. No, he's like that.
No,
he's like
He also
He'd be
served for
amazing.
this country too. I'll go ahead and select
that's what I'm saying.
David Robinson.
We support
He's a veteran.
we support the
He's a
troops.
veteran. Exactly. He's a vet. Let's respect David Robinson right here.
Put David Robinson up there.
What is wrong with Karl Anthony Towns?
Oh my goodness, he's hilarious.
Oh my god.
I love it, man.
Last thing we got today before we get y'all up out of here. Mo, I believe you have some true or false questions to ask us.
Yes, I do have some true or false NBA questions. Just in general,
yes.
some of them may be a little bit trivia-y, and others just for fun. All right, let me shake it up a little bit.
So you're gonna ask
get
them to
into
say
it.
like a take or something, and we're gonna let you know true or false. Kind of like W or L take we've done in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Same exact vibes.
Okay.
All right. Let's play NBA true or false. You ready for the first
Okay.
one?
Yeah.
LeBron's tenure with the Lakers has been a disappointment.
True, and it's not his fault. Rob Pelinka, I don't even know what to say. That's appropriate, man. I had to stop halfway through. I had to bite my tongue. Rob Pelinka, you're my greatest fucking enemy. Jeannie Buss, you're my greatest fucking enemy. They squandered it. The Russell Westbrook trade is one of the worst trades of all time. It just destroyed what could have been a legit title window. It's absolutely a failure and has zero to do with LeBron.
Wow. He said it's on site, Rob. What
What
you
he
gonna
said.
do about it?
What he said.
Isaac said he outside Crypto Arena right now. Where you at?
He said, "Me and my
Damn.
homie's gonna jump you."
Now,
He's like, we
LeBron
don't want
did
fight.
win
We
a
just want to talk.
championship.
We just want to talk, G. We just want to talk, Rob.
I got a potato
no,
sack.
LeBron didn't win a championship, bro.
The butter sock.
The butter sock is crazy.
Yeah.
You got the
Sam
butter sock,
Puckett is a
that's crazy.
demon. Y'all know about Sam Puckett.
Sam Puckett
No,
is a
listen.
demon.
End of the day, they got a championship, which is a success for anybody. But they could have had so much more. They could have had such an extended window.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Sucks to
Trade
suck.
Anthony Davis.
Sucks to suck.
Well, let's trade Anthony Davis. Let's get 1 million picks. Let's rebuild. Let's start this shit from scratch. Free him.
True or false? Jalen Brunson is a top 10 NBA player right now.
True.
Donovan?
True. I
Top
think
10.
you heard me. I said true. What do you mean? I think
I don't
can't be
know.
mad at
Audio
you.
cut out.
I can't,
Yeah.
I can't be mad at you.
for the summer at least, Jalen Brunson has to be top 10. Like what he was able to do last year in the playoffs, scoring 40 almost every single night, carrying that team. Him and Josh Hart playing 40 some minutes a night. Yes, he's top 10 right now.
Yeah, like maybe it's reactionary. So be it. Give him his flowers while we can. Because you know what? Wemby's coming for that spot in the top 10. Paolo's coming for that spot in the top 10. A lot of guys are coming to supplant him. So for now, let him have his flowers.
Okay. I respect it. All right. True or false? The Hornets never had 2 winning seasons in a row.
That's got to be false. No way. They had to have had at least
That's
happen
true.
at one time.
That is true.
What?
How down bad
For
is this
real?
organization?
I'm like 98% sure that's true.
Oh, that's embarrassing. That's terrible.
Make that 100% Donovan because you're all correct.
Yeah.
That is sick.
That's
I was
crazy.
gonna say we need to relegate them to the G League, but I think we need to go even further. We need to relegate them to the 2K E League.
Oh, 100%.
2K E-League?
They
And
need
that
to compete
league-
against Celtics basketball, and that shit is dissolved too. We need to put them in there.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's over, and that's exactly where they belong.
Damn.
Maybe they can play
Tell
against
me
Creighton.
Listen, Charlotte
They could dominate the whack.
versus UConn. Who wins?
Oh, that's nasty talk now.
Klingon is walking through those doors. I'm telling you,
Exactly.
walking Mark
hilarious,
Williams down.
If you tell me that the UConn team that was playing in April versus the Hornets team that was playing in April, if they face off, I'm taking UConn.
Oh, Castle has something for fucking man.
Exactly.
Oh, you
at the
guys
end of
are
the end of the
gross.
year, yeah, they got him.
That's hilarious, bro.
Poku was out there getting burned.
I forget. Grant Williams is there as well. I'm having
Grant Williams was getting buckets.
Grant Williams
True
just
or
posted up
false?
these college kids like, you too small, too small.
That's his game. You'll feast, bro. True or false? Anthony Edwards will be the most glazed player of this decade.
False.
Who's coming for that title?
So. I think
There's
Shea is up there, and I think that Wemby is going to be up there.
It's not glaze though. If it's just facts, you can't really glaze Wemby when he's going to be the best player in the world.
See, I love Wemby, and that was crazy glaze. So that's my point. That's my point.
That's what we're talking about here.
That's my point. So I'll say false because Wemby's, yeah.
No, it's not dick riding to simply observe facts.
Well, that's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. That's hilarious. True or false? Steph Curry will eventually request a trade.
False, but I
False.
wish that shit was true. He's going
False.
down with the ship, and that ship is sinking fast. But he's going down with it nevertheless.
Yeah,
You
it's
really think he's gonna
false.
sit? You really think he's gonna put up with this for the rest of his career? The last 3-4 years of it? That would be sick.
Listen, Riley's in what, 7th grade or some shit? You can't make a middle schooler move. That'll ruin their life. They got to stay there forever. He's a family man. You got to prioritize the kids, keep him with their friends and everything. He's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Have
Ain't
you
nobody give a
seen?
damn about that.
Have you seen Inside Out?
Clear cut greatest point guard of all time.
Have you seen Inside
Oh,
Out?
yeah.
Do you know what happens when you move a middle schooler across the country? It's terrible. They start running away and stuff. It's too much. It's too much.
They start running.
You start
away.
playing hockey or something? Yuck.
What are we? Canadian?
No.
That was like, what is it? The Braids? What are we, Canadian?
That's hilarious. What are we, Canadian? Okay. True or false? Kyrie Irving has had a better career than Damian Lillard.
False. They've never told Damian Lillard, go over there and read a book real quick. Like I'll take also Dame as a one option has been more consistent and more productive than Kyrie as a one option.
Yeah, people are really going to cling onto Kyrie's moment with LeBron, and I respect that. It's an amazing moment. It means something. But totality of the career, Dame's been better.
Yeah, Kyrie does have those moments for sure. But if Dame was LeBron's teammate, guarantee you he would have so many more rings compared to what Kyrie was able to do.
Oh yeah, because he's not leaving. Because Dame's loyal. He's not leaving.
Yeah, true. And also he is healthier.
Yeah,
majority of the time.
I'm getting on these spam calls. People need to fuck off.
Oh my gosh.
You're not D&D?
Holland, Texas. Multiple numbers from Holland, Texas. What is that?
Wait, multiple numbers or the same number?
2 numbers, both of which say Holland, Texas.
Oh, that's
Could those
interesting.
be debt collectors?
I don't know. They're trying to get in touch with me though.
You're in trouble.
And I think that's it. That's all we have.
Do you need some money?
And that's the end of the episode. If people are still here, what should they comment? Comment, what are we, Canadian?
Yeah.
What are we, Canadian?
Comment that. What are we, Canadian?
Yeah.
And I want to see that
with
emoji.
the red question mark.
The red question mark and the
exclamation point.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, right here.
And on that note, we'll see y'all later.